NBC Sports Network welcomes you to the following presentation of the IZOD INDYCAR Series.
Downtown Baltimore and the Inner Harbor, a popular destination for a holiday weekend. And today, extra busy with the cars and stars of the IZOD INDYCAR Series. Last year, this 12-turn street course through the city ran its inaugural race to rave reviews. Today, 25 drivers will run alongside historic Inner Harbor and in the shadow of legendary Camden Yards. Baltimore is home to the Orioles and Ravens, teams with long-standing traditions. And today, this city could crown the 2012 IZOD INDYCAR Series champion. Moments ago, the crew for the number 12 Verizon car rolled out to the starting grid. And today, Will Power is primed to drive it toward his first series championship. But several drivers still have title plans of their own and hope to delay Power's celebration for one more race. The NBC Sports Network welcomes you to IndyCar Central, presented by Verizon, where we'll set the stage for today's 75-lap race. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Lee. The drivers are going to be introduced here in just a matter of moments. Right behind me, just to my left, is where they want to finish the day. That's Victory Lane. We are looking forward to a good one here today at Baltimore. It's the next to last race of the season, and it's the final road or street course race coming up in 2 weeks. Actually, less than 2 weeks. It's a Saturday evening race. We'll wrap up the season on the 2-mile oval with a 500-mile race at Auto Club Speedway in Fontana. Here this weekend, Will Power comes in with a very, very comfortable lead in the championship, and he is one of those that emerged unscathed yesterday in qualifying. And Marty Snyder joins us now from the location where so much happened yesterday.
Yeah, Kevin, the talk all weekend here in Baltimore has been about the backstretch. Now, on Friday, you could fly down this backstretch as fast as you wanted. The problem, the railroad tracks I'm standing on, they would literally launch off of this. Then Friday night, IndyCar put in a chicane to slow down the cars. Well, that didn't slow them down very much in qualifying. Many of them taking it wide going in. That made them wide off the corner. A lot of cars hitting the wall in qualifying and practice yesterday here in Baltimore. So IndyCar had two solutions overnight. Number one, they put in a tire barrier back there. They said that will slow everyone going down into the corner. And number two, they added 3 barriers here so that when you do hit the wall off of the chicane, it will be more of a glancing blow. Dario Franchitti told me when you land off of that chicane, it's like the lottery. You never know which way your car is going to go. But the problem, Ryan Briscoe told me those tires make it a blind corner going into the second corner. So many unknowns back here, Kevin. The one thing we do know, this is where all the action's going to be this afternoon.
And Marty, one other unknown today to add into it is the weather. We not only have track issues changing a little bit throughout the weekend, but we have a pretty decent chance of rain coming up today. We have managed to stay dry today, but there's the look at the radar, and it looks like it's going to be here at some point. Some thought that it might go south, but doesn't look that way with the way that radar is. But it seems like we're going to be pretty good to at least get the start of the race, and then the strategy will really play in. Well, let's look at the top 4 who are still in contention for the championship. Technically 8 still mathematically alive, but these are the 4 that have a chance. And Will Power picked up 1 more point yesterday in the championship, so it's a 37-point lead. That's almost a full race. Ryan Hunter-Reay would have been only 11 back if he had gotten that podium finish at Sonoma last week before he was punted late in the race. Helio Castroneves, Scott Dixon still have a chance if Dixon has the best starting position today, starting next to Will Power. And Will should have plenty of reason to be optimistic going into this event because he was more than just a little bit strong here last year.
There is electricity in the air. You can see the incredible crowd that has gathered here for this inaugural race.
All 4 cars cooking like clam chowder.
We are racing in the Baltimore Grand Prix.
And Rahal has the lead.
Here comes Power to the inside. That was awesome.
Take a look at the inside.
No.
Briscoe hits it.
He knows every single lap before he pits right now is the difference between winning and losing.
Go.
Looks like Power is going to be able to hang on to the advantage.
Will Power wins the inaugural Baltimore Grand Prix.
Oh man, that was the toughest race I've done all year. And I just gave it absolutely everything I had. Everything.
And the driver of the Verizon Wireless number 12 car, Will Power, joins us here on our set. Great drive last year, capped off a great weekend with plenty of fans in the house, but let's talk about this year. We've had a lot of issues with the track. Marty, just a tail. What's going on at the chicane? Are you okay with the adjustments that have been made?
Yeah, I am. You know, I think it prevents people taking all that first curb. You know, honestly, I didn't care either which way. If they had tires, they didn't. But you know, at the end of the day, it's the same for everyone. And yeah, you can see it's quite a wild chicane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about what's going to happen today. You have a chance to wrap up your first championship after being so close the last 2 years. As I mentioned, you've got a comfortable advantage, but I'm wondering, what's the sense of urgency to get this done today?
Man, I think we're just taking it like we take every race. I mean, that's the only thing you can do. You know, that's what's got us to this position. You know, we understand that we kind of cue off what Hunter-Reay does to make sure we're sort of on the same strategy, but you know, we'll just see with the weather and the way things play out. You just got to make the most of every situation.
A strong race today clinches it, but just 2 decent races get it done. Since you have a cushion, any more conservative today?
I just think when you're conservative, you just it could sometimes be worse for you. You just got to focus on the job at hand and do it to the best of your ability. I mean, you know, I know that you can go like qualifying, that's another level, but I understand how to run fast and consistent and safely in the race, and that will be my plan.
Good luck today. Have a good race.
Thank you.
He starts on the pole for the 3rd consecutive race today, 5th of the season, 29 on his career. Now, here are the scenarios in which Will Power could wrap up the championship. As I mentioned, 37 is his lead. Ryan Hunter-Reay must finish 4th or better if Will wins the race to be able to maintain an opportunity next week. Elio would have to be the runner-up. Dixon is eliminated if Power wins the race. If Will is the runner-up, Hunter-Reay just needs to finish a little better than mid-pack. 9th, Elio 6th or better. Dixon would have to win the race. If the lead is 54, then it's all done. If it's 44, all he has to do is show up to Fontana and start the race, and he would be the champion. But there are others that are trying to get it done today, maybe hoping for a little misfortune for Will Power. There's Ryan Hunter-Reay. Elio Castroneves also looking for his first championship, and Scott Dixon is going to start next to Will Power. Stay tuned. Plenty more to come from Baltimore. IndyCar Central on the NBC Sports Network is presented by Verizon, official wireless partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series. Welcome back to the streets of Baltimore as we get set to go racing here in just about a half hour today. Beautiful shot of the aerial. That actually was right above us. We're near Victory Lane. The driver intro is going on behind us, getting set for what we hope is a good one coming up today. Well, going into last weekend's race at Sonoma, we had the same 4 drivers still in contention, battling for the championship, but it was so much tighter. Just 28 points separating the top 4, and Ryan Hunter-Reay entered the weekend just 5 back, but it did not go well for 3 of the 4 contenders.
The GoPro Indy Grand Prix of Sonoma is underway. Oh, and Dixon spins.
Contact from Castroneves.
Car 3, drive-through penalty, avoidable contact.
Way to go, Hunter-Reay. Cold blacks, and he holds off Scott Dixon on hot reds.
See what happens when they get down here. Wow.
Oh, damage on the wing. He's got damage on the wing. He does it. Will he be able to stop? No!
Coming in, coming in. Copy, copy, copy.
Scott Dixon, his woes continue.
They're going to have to change the nose on that car.
And he catches an air hose right there. Now you add a penalty to Scott Dixon. Man, that day just not going well.
Green, green, green.
Oh, look at Tagliani. Goes to the inside.
Ryan Hunter-Reay gets spun around.
Another one of the title contenders.
This is going to cost him a ton.
It's the usual Tagliani deal. I mean, that's what he's known for.
I take full responsibility, but yeah, I'm thinking about championship as well. We have to be in the top 22 to be in the leader circle next year.
All right, I'm down here with the Great American Hope. Let me get this straight for a second, Ryan. We've got the motor at Mid-Ohio. We've got the tag at Sonoma. And then yesterday, you haven't even done a lap yet. The red flag comes out. What happened?
You know how it goes, man. Sometimes things just don't go your way. This morning, though, I ate Lucky Charms, and I'm hoping that's going to do something here. And we might have some weather coming our way to mix up the bag a little bit, but Man, we're concentrated on winning, and then we want to make this thing exciting for the fans coming down to Fontana because it has been an awesome championship fight the whole year.
If we get a chance here, let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Here's you sitting here when the red flag come out. It must have been so frustrating, again, to have an issue.
I couldn't believe it. It was like, things just, haven't been going our way, and you just have to, keep a positive attitude about it. It was a little bit tough to be level-headed after Sonoma was such an unnecessary situation, but really use that energy to focus here on Baltimore. That's all we can do.
Go for broke?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, this is our opportunity to get back in this thing, and it's going to happen. It's going to happen today.
All right, Marty, so this guy's ready to stand on it. I'm noticing for the first time what a big right foot he has. You know what that means? He stands on the gas.
Yeah, Scott Dixon going to stand on the gas, too. He's also going to walk across the introduction stage. We'll follow him when that happens. 55 points out. You told me last week, not time to be conservative. You have to make some things happen in the championship. So what needs to happen in the next 2 weeks to win the championship?
Yeah, definitely. And here is very important, I think. We need to make a good inroads on Will. Obviously, he got the pole, which was definitely tough, but we'll give it a good go. I think the weather's going to play a big part today. Obviously, we're expecting some rain midway through, so hopefully the number 9 target car can have a great day.
All right, go be introduced. Wave to the fans. I'll interview you more once you wave a little bit, okay? We'll let him wave to the fans and say hi to everyone. All right, Dixie, your impressions of the chicane then this morning after you got to run it and warm up?
Definitely a good improvement. I think yesterday we could have used maybe the tires, in the actual chicane. Just it stops you cutting it, and a lot of guys are getting greedy just to catch a couple of 2 or 3 tenths, which definitely makes a difference with how tight the field is. But I think it was definitely the best sort of compromise that we had, and everybody's worked hard, and hopefully we can have a great race here today.
You could turn left in turn 1, and make it a really close championship race.
Yeah, there you go. We don't want to do that.
All right, he does start right beside Will Power when we get this thing underway, Kevin.
All right, thank you, Marty. Be careful going down those stairs.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the tour of driver introductions, Kevin.
Yeah, very much. Well, unfortunately, we will not see Josef Newgarden in a race car today. There he is, and you see the reason. His left hand bandaged up, scary crash with Sebastian Bourdais. Bruno Junqueira there is who we're going to see in the 67 car. And there's Simon Pagenaud. We had an opportunity to spend some time with him and his car owner, Sam Schmidt, over the last few days, and that's coming up next. That's a nice seat for today's race here in Baltimore, and the buffet is there as well. We are less than 30 minutes away from green flag time here. Well, Sam Schmidt was once a promising young IndyCar driver until a crash at a practice session in 2000 left him paralyzed from the neck down. Still with a passion for racing, though, Sam turned his attention to car ownership, where he found success. Then, last October, Sam was in Las Vegas when a 15...
So much for me on many levels, so I guess, I need to be here. I need to be doing this.
Sam is very famous at picking drivers coming up the ladder. And when it came all about building that IndyCar team, he contacted me pretty early on. He gave me that opportunity to show to the IndyCar world what I could do. He keeps giving me what I need, what the team needs to go faster and faster and faster. If I go faster, I do a better job. I look better, the team looks better. It's good for both of us. It's a win-win situation.
I think Simon's been just a really good addition to what was already a good thing, and he works really hard, with the team, works very hard outside the car, and that motivates the team members to do their best because they're seeing how hard he's working. I mean, to think that he's accomplished what he's accomplished this year as a rookie, it only gives us really a good encouragement and motivation for next year.
There's pressure on me now because we've done so well, yes, but the pressure is off because we've done so well, and I think we know we've got a good race car, a good team all together, so now we can, yes, everybody's asking us when are we going to win, but, win will come.
We did establish some goals pre-season and definitely have accomplished or surpassed any of the expectations for the season so far on every level, whether it's Simon, whether it's the team, whether it's the pit stops. On the commercial side, it's all been, really good. I think, everybody else should be watching out, right? Watching the mirrors, right?
And Simon is one of those that's been knocking on the door for a win. We've talked about the top 4 in the championship, but it's still very interesting after that, especially 5th through 7th. 5th is the final position that pays bonus money at the end of the season, and Pagenaud has that advantage by a slim margin on Tony Kanaan and James Hinchcliffe, and a lot of pride involved in what's happening there. So still some jockeying for positions in these final 2 races. There's Simon Pagenaud. We'll talk to him here coming up in a couple of minutes in his ride around with Mike Conway. Call Star Indy for live in-car cameras, driver pit crew chatter, and more. Download IndyCar Mobile only from Verizon. And several new features on the Verizon app. They've also been streaming the driver meetings with Bo Barfield, the race director. Well, coming up along with Simon Pagenaud, we've got the grid run with Robin Miller, and also our Professor B coming up with Jan Beekes. Another beautiful shot of the Inner Harbor. This is one of our favorite weekends. Not only the racing, but getting to explore this area with so much to see, so much to do. We're getting close to the start today here in Baltimore. Well, engine manufacturers spend time and money trying to go fast, but they must also consider what happens if it all goes wrong. Jan Beekes explains on this week's edition of Professor B.
With a championship on the line, the last thing you want is to be stalled on course. So new for this season is anti-stall. It comes with the ECU, or engine control unit, that came with the new car. This is essentially a $12,000 computer that comes from McLaren that has 3 levels. One for McLaren, one for the series, and one for the engine manufacturers. But the engine manufacturers can only change the variables, not what's known as the strategies. The idea is the series does not want the engine manufacturers to come up with strategies that might work for something like traction control. So anti-stall, for example, you could specify that your engine idle RPM is 3,000 RPM. But then you could put in the parameter that if it drops, let's say, to 1,500, it would then send a signal to the other computer, a CCU, that's the clutch control unit, that would quickly disengage the clutch. Now, Honda is the only manufacturer that's chosen to do so. Lotus and Chevrolet have not. And that was the case for Ryan Hunter-Reay in Sonoma. He manually grabbed the clutch and kept it running, but then with hot, sticky tires, he stalled it when he tried to pull away. No anti-stall system will help you there.
All right, thank you, Jan. And that's the technology, anti-stall, that all the Honda drivers are hoping to avoid today. Well, it's getting busy down there on the grid. The drivers have made their way back from their lap around the track, from driver introductions. Let's hear from some of them. It's time for the grid run with Robin Miller.
A long overdue grid run. Okay, kids. Little Ray Hall, get over here. Now, listen, if you're driving for your old man next year, you're going to call him father, sir, or hey, buddy.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah,
sorry.
But if
he's always dad to me.
Okay, thank you. Good luck. All right, I just saw Newgarden. All right, brother, Josef Newgarden, you got hurt at Sonoma. What hurts worse, watching this or your hand?
Oh, watching this for sure. The hand's fine.
You going to be back at Fontana?
Absolutely. I'll be there no matter what.
Because you can drive an oval one-handed. You're a smart guy. I like that. All right, we're moving on. Ho! Dr. Mattioli's grandson, Brandon, runs Pocono Speedway. How are you, brother?
I'm good. How are you today?
The rumor is we may see you next July with Indy cars.
That's a rumor. I'm on vacation with my family, actually.
Now, you've been at St. Pete and you've been to this race. We're thinking we're going to have an IndyCar race maybe in the Pocono Mountains again.
Who knows?
Just look at 60-40, 70-30?
Who knows?
Spoken like a promoter. All right, we're moving up. Still moving. Oh, no, Bruno's not here. I couldn't understand him anyway. I might have loved Bruno, but he's a tough guy to understand. Hey, Castro Neves! Slow down. You run that fast in qualifying, you wouldn't be back here. Hello, son. Oh, we're on camera here. This is the grid run. That's why I'm out of breath. What the hell are you doing way back here?
Yeah, big mistake. Decided to pull a good lap, thinking next would be better. I made a little mistake. My bad.
Chrome horn coming out?
Say that again?
Will the chrome horn be coming out?
Well, they're going to be... if I need it, I'm going to use it if necessary.
No more Mr. Nice Guy when the green flag drops. All right. And we haven't talked to... Where's that old man? Where's Barrichello? Where is he, boys? Where's your driver? Where's Rubens?
He's not here yet.
He's never where I want him. Oh, there's old A.J. Foyt. He's still standing. Mr. Foyt, we're on live TV, so don't cuss. Good job.
Sir.
Good job by Mike Conway qualifying.
A very good job.
All right, he's starting 12th. What'd you tell him?
Leave there like a thief at night and hurry back.
Leave like a thief at night and hurry back. Spoken like a true Texan. I like that. All right, we're heading this way. We're going past Marty. Here we go, boys and girls. Where's Barrichello? Rubens. Hey, rookie. Turn around here. This is live television in Brazil, too.
I saw you running last year, so I'm glad you came to visit me.
All right, here's what I want to know. We're going to see you back next year?
Yes.
Maybe Honda?
You're asking too much,
Okay,
man.
thanks. Good luck. All right. Pagano, what color's his car? We haven't talked to Pagano. There he is. Well, there's his car. Hey, Friendly Frog. This is live TV. All right, brother. We just did a little feature on Sam. And
can you breathe?
Please. I'm 62 years old. Of course I can breathe.
That's pretty old, yeah.
What? You got a fast race car. You feeling any effects from your crash the other day?
No, actually, you know, the cars are really safe. The seat, the way it's made, really protected my spine. I felt just a little touch of pain when I landed, but I'm all good. A little bit disappointed. I think we had the car for front row yesterday, and I didn't do my job right. But trust me, Robin, I'm coming to the front today.
The other thing is our feature with Sam about how he's been good. You said he's been good at picking guys. You guys are surprised everybody because you're 5th in the championship. You're a one-car team. You haven't seen most of these tracks. What were your expectations?
Well, you always expect to go for wins, right? You don't start a championship thinking you're going to be 15th. But it's certainly we've expected our goals. But every time you've overachieved it, you want to do even more. And I think there's still quite a little bit we could get, definitely in me. So yeah, I'm looking forward to next year, and I think it should be good.
Okay, I was going to let you throw it to break because you've never done that on television before, but Pagano's starting in the back. He'll go to the front, probably won't use the horn. Stay tuned for more on NBC Sports Network.
IndyCar Central on the NBC Sports Network is presented by Verizon, official wireless partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series.
Welcome back to the IZOD IndyCar Series on the NBC Sports Network. The green flag coming up from Baltimore here in a few minutes. Hello, everyone. I'm Brian Till, filling in for Bob Jenkins this weekend, alongside Wally Dallenbach and Jan Beekes. And guys, anytime we come to a street circuit like here in Baltimore, the concrete walls are unforgiving, and a lot of times the organizers will place a chicane on the racetrack in some of the areas that are a bit more challenging. They did that here last year over a railroad track on the front straightaway. It was a triple chicane, and the drivers did not like it. So, Jan, when we came back this year, they tried a different approach.
The idea was, let's not use the chicane at all, but they found out right away. Look at Simon Pagano, nearly 2 feet in the air as he crossed those railroad tracks. It just shot a shockwave up his back. The drivers talked about it. They stopped the session, and for the afternoon, they decided we're going to have to do some grinding and put up some tires to have a makeshift chicane to see if we can get slowed, Wally, over those railroad tracks.
And it was the drivers' committee that decided, hey, let's not use the chicane. That didn't work. So now they went to the chicane. We had a lot of guys clobbering the wall over the weekend, 7 cars to be exact. But it's just kind of funny. There was all these drivers talking about all these changes. My dad used to say, throttle works both ways. And in other words, you control the car, the track doesn't control you. Will Power was a half a second faster than everybody in qualifying. He didn't have any problems going through the chicane. I think they just need to figure it out and drive. And here's what the chicane looks like now.
Just the addition of the tire wall there at the first part of it. Your dad should know he was chief steward of the IndyCar Series for a while, Wally, but all of the drivers have to face that chicane today, Jan, but not all of them have to face the pressure that Will Power has on him.
And the pressure is intense. And we know that Will has talked about, well, you know, I'm so much more relaxed this year, but subconsciously he knows the last 2 seasons the championship has slipped away in the final race. So there's a very high motivation for he and the team. We've got to lock it up here, whatever we do. But This is another race where pit strategy could come into play. We know in the last 2 races for Will Power, he's had problems on pit road here in Mid-Ohio, and the same thing happened at the last race in Sonoma. So this is a wide open race as far as pit strategy and pit windows go, so I think he'll be nervous in the car, and definitely the crew, Wally, I think, behind pit lane.
Yeah, the guys chasing for the championship, Catherine Evans, Ryan Hunter, they don't have great starting positions, but Scott Dixon does. He's starting right next to him. It's time to get in Will Power's head. This is a good chance to do it. Scott was awesome at Belle Isle, Detroit. He had him covered. So, you know, there's a big point gap, but you know what? Today's the day. If you're going to get it done, Dixon's got a shot. Mess with Will Power. We'll see what happens.
Sure, it's going to be plenty exciting from here in Baltimore. Thanks for watching IndyCar Central on the NBC Sports Network, presented by Verizon. When we come back, we'll await the words that everyone is waiting to hear, and that is, drivers, start your engines. Make sure you stay with us. Last week, led by Will Power, 4 drivers were separated by only 28 points in the race for the IZOD IndyCar Championship. But the race through Sonoma provided vintage IndyCar chaos.
Oh, and Dixon spins.
Let's see what happens when they get down here. Wow.
Ryan Hunter Ray gets spun around and left 3 of the 4 drivers anguishing in a loss of points hangover. This week, the IndyCar convention speeds east to Baltimore, and the keynote figure remains Will Power. Can the Aussie driver for Team Penske move closer or even capture that elusive season championship after back-to-back runner-up finishes? Or will those chasing Power, as well as their own victory aspirations, close the gap once again? Power is already king of IndyCar roads, but if he falters on the streets of Baltimore, his coronation will have to wait until the final race. Welcome to the Grand Prix of Baltimore, presented by SRT on the NBC Sports Network. Things are hot in Baltimore, and they are about to get a lot hotter, I should say, because the IndyCar engines are about to be fired up. Let's listen to the command.
Baltimore race fans, are you ready? It's time for those most famous words in motorsports. Please welcome back Colonel Gregory Gadsden as he gives the command.
Drivers, start your engines!
The command has been given. Pit techs, let me hear you when you're ready.
Gentlemen, start your engines. That was Colonel Gregory Gadsden, a true American hero, a wounded warrior. Glad to see him here, and our warriors about to do battle in the IZOD IndyCar Series. Plenty of stories yet to go today, and they're going to start down in the pits. Let's go to Marty.
Well, Brian, we've mentioned before what worries Will Power about the championship. It's not what happens on the track. It's what could happen on pit road. The pit road at Baltimore, one of the most narrow on all the circuit. And also, at the very end of pit road, you have to make a hard right-hand turn to get onto the racetrack at a slower speed than the 60-mile-an-hour speed limit. Will Power, though, has the best stall here at Baltimore. The first one, all he has to do is drop the clutch and he'll cross the finish line. Kevin?
Marty, look who I find here in road number 4. This is Ed Carpenter. This is his best start ever on a road and street course race. He has finished 6th 5 years ago at Watkins Glen, but he's right here with all the fast guys. There right behind him is Ryan Hunter-Reay, still fighting for the championship. Simon Pagenaud, a lot of fast guys here in the middle of the track. So let's see how Ed does starting up near the front, Robin.
Well, as Sebastian Bourdais pulls away, Kevin, he was going for 3rd place last week in Sonoma. He was in a terrible crash. Says the worst impact he's had in all the years he's driven Indy cars. But he came over that, that hurt. His shoulder was hurt and he could barely put his suit on. Held on the steering wheel. He starts 3rd. He's trying to give Jay Penske his first ever podium. And now we go to Mr. Townsend Bell, who's way up high.
Hey, Robin.
You know, we come to street circuits because of atmosphere, and I got to tell you, I'm on the 20th floor of some building they got me into. This is like a frat house. This place is so packed. The view's amazing. I can see all the way down the front straightaway. I can see the chicane. The cars are below me. I mean, literally, if I drop this chicken slider, it's going to land on Hinch's head. Behind me is a gal named Maggie. Maggie, this is some sort of cure pain institute. What are you doing here?
Yes, we do everything for neck and back pain, and we're also hosting the Boy Scouts of America today.
Now, Maggie, I raced really hard yesterday in the ALMS. I got a little lower lumbar issue. Is there any way you can take care of that right now?
Yes, we can do anything from the lumbar, actually the sacral issue, all the way to the lumbar, up through the thoracic and the cervical.
Can you give me something right now as we're waving to the helicopter? All right, guys, let's have a great race. What a view. What an atmosphere here in Baltimore with the chicken slider, I might add.
I knew he would get a massage out of this before the day was over with. Jan, they're going to have to do battle on a very tight street circuit here in Baltimore.
And, of course, from that aerial view, you get an idea of how tight these streets are. But if you take the world view, you get an idea. Camden Yards, very clear on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, the Inner Harbor. And the race is going to start today right down Pratt Street. After you come off the chicane, they're going to form up 2 by 2, and a great passing zone into turn number 1. Big bumps going in there, and another great opportunity into the hairpin in 3. That's where there was a big traffic jam last year. Revised section 567, then past Pit Road. That's where Marty was talking about. Weaves you then to the fastest part of the racetrack, back to turn 11 and 12. And, of course, the chicane has been added between turn 12 and the start-finish line.
Here. Yeah, we're going. This is the train checks these guys are having trouble. I mean, it looked like the Baja 1000 when these guys first went out on the racetrack. Put some tires up. It was really tough on the race cars. They needed to do something with the chicane. So to put the tires up, they added the curbs. And it really kind of, brought things into perspective for these guys. I think they like it a lot better. But I'll tell you what, we had some exciting footage yesterday. It's a lot of crashed cars because of that chicane. So hopefully they've got it under control.
Let's see how they'll line up today on our Novolog Flex Pin starting grid. Will Power on the pole alongside Scott Dixon. Dixon really needs a victory here. He'll be looking to improve right off the bat. Sebastian Bourdais, Dario Franchitti in row 2. Can Franchitti help protect Dixon? James Hinchcliffe, Tony Kanaan in row 3. And as we move along to row 4, Justin Wilson alongside Ed Carpenter. We talked about what a good start that was for Carpenter. Simon Pagenaud, Ryan Hunter-Ray in row 5. Move on back to row 6. Ryan Briscoe alongside Mike Conway. He's dropped back to row 7. Alex Tagliani, Elio Castroneves. Row 8, Rubens Barrichello, Oriol Servia will start alongside. Row 9, Charlie Kimball beside Marco Andretti. Andretti looking for a good finish. And James Jakes, Bruno Junqueira, row 10. Back in row 11, Graham Rahal after his crash in qualifying alongside EJ Viso. A little further back, row 12, J.R. Hildebrand also crashed in qualifying alongside Takuma Sato and Simona Di Silvestro. Her birthday this weekend. She's looking for a bit of a birthday present. Well, don't miss a chance to get in on Honda's fastest seat in motorsport sweepstakes. Enter by logging on to shophonda.com. This week's lucky winner is Tyler Traber from Uniontown, Ohio. By logging on to shophonda.com, Tyler won the opportunity to start today's race in the IZOD two-seater driven by Ari Lyondike Sr. That's quite the seat, I would say. Let's take a look at the onboards today. We'll have some great shots from outside, inside as well. The number 4, J.R. Hildebrand, the National Guard on board. He'll give us some great shots. Charlie Kimball in the 83, the Novolog Flex Pin on board. 22 of Oriol Servia. Also a camera on 28, Ryan Hunter-Ray, the Verizon on board. Hunter-Ray trying to get back in that championship hunt. Simon Pagenaud, who's been very quick throughout the weekend. He wants to make amends for his problem in qualifying. And obviously, we'll start up front with Will Power in the Chevy on board. It's not about just going fast. You got to have good strategy as well, Jan. So take us through our SRT race strategy.
And the first thing you'll see is the time for push to pass. 90 seconds and quickly right there. No delay. That's what the drivers want. And nice wide windows for the pit strategy should be awesome.
should be awesome. The start should be awesome. They will be in single file through the chicane.
Be ready here.
Hear the radio. Be ready. Single file through the chicane, and then they will line up side by side, looking for a little later start here on the original start, Bo Barfield says. And there we go. The green flag is out. The entire field not through the chicane. We're down to turn one.
Wow, look at
Ryan
Ray making a move early, and Dixon is going to hang in there. Nope. Wow, Bourdais puts himself in position.
Now Sebastian Bourdais is in position to make a move on Dixon. He had position coming off a 2, but no, Dixon chops over and stays in second spot.
Dixon trying to protect that position. He needs it in the championship. The question is, who's going to burn up some of that push to pass time right here at the start?
Boy, everybody so far clean through. We had a lot of problems there on the hairpin last year, but so far so good.
Castroneves right behind Carpenter in the Fuzzy's Vodka car, and now that's Rubens Barrichello. He had a fast car in qualifying side by side with Tagliani.
Man, this is a difficult place to get it done.
Oh, wow, that is really close.
And we've seen that problem with this year's IndyCar with that protector in the back, that bit of bodywork. Sometimes that front wing of the car behind slides in, makes the contact. It's what got Ryan Hunter-Reay at Sonoma.
You see a bit of a mix. The top cars, most all of which have gone with the red sidewall alternate. Of course, that's going to be grippier. Piece of wing off of, we believe, Simona De Silvestro's car just at the pit entrance. That's 5, 6, 7. And wow, look at Power already. And he is so smooth through that chicane, Wally.
Yeah, this is a great shot of what they've done here. And you can see everybody's a lot tighter through here. Yesterday in practice, we were seeing guys come in really, really wide. And they were really, well, Hunter-Reay taking another spot possibly from Conway. Will Conway do the crossover? Nice. Hey, you know, Hunter-Reay said he was going for it. He's showing us right now. He's not taking any prisoners.
Debris from the 7-8 car. It's in the middle of the track at 7. It's being flagged surface. Look out for it, please.
Hear the radio communication. Ryan Hunter-Reay on a move. Take a look at the start right out of the chicane.
Yeah, he got a great run, and he just, all of a sudden, he cranks to the left here. There's an opening, so he went for
what
it.
Great timing. That's the way to get off the chicane. It just blew by Ed Carpenter. Then the next lap comes in and keeps that momentum on Conway.
Ryan Hunter-Reay knows what he needs to do to get back in this championship hunt, and he's doing it right now. The next car in front, the number 2, Ryan Briscoe.
Ryan Briscoe, of course, in different colors, PPG colors. The blue, black, and white had the Hitachi colors in Sonoma after that win that was so desperately needed, but surprising that Ryan Briscoe didn't qualify as well as you would expect. Now he's going to have a great tussle with Ryan Hunter-Reay.
Look at the gap that Will Power has already pulled out as Simona De Silvestro on pit road to replace that front wing. EJ Viso in as well. There's a look at Tim Cindric watching his man Will Power. Power already very impressive.
And that was a close moment again for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He wants to keep that momentum. When you have momentum and you're fast at the beginning, when you're heavy on fuel and your car's working well, now is when he needs to make those positions. And Tagliani gets that position from Ed Carpenter.
Tagliani moving up as well. You see Elio Castroneves in the yellow number 3, the Penske truck rental car. Mike Conway.
You know, I question, too, how many guys perhaps started with the rain setup today, knowing that weather is coming?
If you start with a rain setup, it's definitely going to, I guess you would say, well, you flop around a bit.
Right.
It'll be softer. It'll bounce around. Those who are really racing out, like a Ryan Hunter-Reay, he looks to me like that would be a dry setup.
Jan, even though we think this is a very easy 2-stop race, I am told there are going to be a few that are going to make it a 3-stop race. Expect Rubens Barrichello to come in here within the next 3 laps or so. They started on black. I think Marco Andretti might do the same. Kyle Moyer said that's how Tony Kanaan got from the back to finish 3rd last year. And I also think I just saw a couple of raindrops.
There's going to be some people that are going to throw the dice here. And it could work out for a lot of people. It's just really going to be luck on if the caution and when the caution comes out while these guys are pitting.
But there is one big difference from last year to this year when you're talking about that, Kevin, and pit strategy. Most likely they will not close the pits under full course caution. That's what makes the leaders really nervous. Of course, it depends where the accident might happen. I personally would not want to do a 3-stop strategy. I'd go for 2 maybe with rain, you could do less than that.
Boy, Bourdais is putting on the pressure right now, Scott Dixon.
And you think about Sebastian Bourdais, he talked about that crash at Sonoma, how sore he was, how sore he still is. The punishment that he's going to go through here in today's race, it has to be absolutely brutal. He will be worn out.
And he said in right-hand turns, he said right there, great example, I cannot get the most out of the car because I just can't hang on to it. Marty?
Yeah, guys, and that's the problem. He's just so sore. It was the left shoulder, as Robin mentioned, in his rib cage area that's really bothering him the most. And he said, I really wish, A, this race was a week later, but B, we weren't at Baltimore just because this racetrack, it is a street circuit and so rough on his body the entire time. He did tell me, I think the race will be a little bit better because qualifying, I was going all out.
Yeah, but adrenaline fixed a lot of that, Marty. When you've got a good race car like Bourdais has right now and you're driving to the front, that pain goes away.
I think there was a shot of adrenaline right there as Bourdais makes the move on Dixon. Dixon does not want to see that. That will separate him from Will Power by another position. As I said, things are heating up in Baltimore. The championship is on the line with just 2 races to go. Scott Dixon doing all he can to hang with Will Power. We'll be back for more IZOD IndyCar Series action from the streets of Baltimore. Grand Prix of Baltimore on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by SRT and by IZOD. Go to IZOD.com to see the latest in IZOD color and performance. As you saw at home, a couple of cars making pit stops. J.R. Hildebrand was in. Could be a 3-stop strategy there. I don't think there was anything wrong with the car, yeah.
No, Barrichello also chose that 3-stop strategy, and I don't think you'd want to do that, especially if we think that raindrops are in the future, because if it starts to rain, you're going to hit pit road again, and then you're way out of cycle. So for me and Will Power, I would want to stay out, and then obviously if you get wet conditions, then make your stop, even if it's 3, but at least you're picking up rain tires.
Great shot here from Will Power. He's got 2 shots, so we've got a driver shot. And what the driver's looking at, and boy, if there's a guy that can get around these street courses any better, I don't know who it is, because this is really fun to watch him drive.
Getting the whole works. You heard from Tim Cindric giving him his gap.
Now Graham Rahal in the pits.
The idea here is that they start on blacks, and they want to get rid of them quickly. But again, when we start having reports from pit lane,
yeah, you almost got to change your strategy if you got rain coming. I mean, you're right. I mean, these guys that have pitted early right now, if the rain comes out, they put themselves in a pretty deep hole.
I think so, because we keep hearing reports. There are a few raindrops around, and boy, I wouldn't want to have just made a pit stop if I need rain tires.
Well, and good move and good work on the part of Graham Rahal's team members. Pulled that air gun back just about the time he ran over, or that would have been a penalty. Will Power still leads.
And guys, here's a theory for Will Power. I talked to Tim Cindric about the rain coming, and as we've mentioned, you can see on the lens it's starting to sprinkle a little bit. This is a small shower, so how long do you stay out and risk it? The other strategy for Power, on the reds, get as big of a gap as you can to second place, run as hard as you can. Do not save any fuel right now, because we know eventually we'll have to put on rain tires, and then we don't know what's going to happen after that. So for Power, right now, 0 fuel save, go as hard as you can every lap.
And Marty, one thing that surprises me, if it does rain, the rules say you don't have to run reds or blacks. So to me, why would you even start this race on blacks if you think rain was coming? Because that rule goes out the window. You could run the whole race on reds or rain tires, and I think that's what Power wants to do.
See some moisture on the lens from the helicopter. You see Will Power out in front. It's the 10th race he's led this season, 2 more than any other driver, and he's led on every street and road course except Detroit. It shows you why.
And Bourdais. Oh, here we go.
Ed Carpenter. Problem for Carpenter. That is at the exit of the chicane.
Took a little bit too much.
Now, they should not close the pits.
Sorry,
so keep your eye on the pits. People may take advantage because that's new this year. Bo Barfield trying to leave it open.
Full course yellow, there's cars coming. Heads up.
Let's take a look.
Sorry. Best opportunity we've had all year to do something, and I just pissed it away.
Whew. And I like the call they made on bringing that wall out, that was a bad angle yesterday before they pulled that wall out. So I think that was probably a much easier shot that Ed took if they would have had it the way they had it yesterday.
It looks like Power and Bourdais did not come to the pits that time. Carpenter in his car, and you heard him say on the radio, I'm sorry, guys, it's the best shot we had all year. We talked about his starting position. He said, I threw it all away.
See, Marco has hit the pits. 15 car. Sato is in.
So you'll see most of those that don't have too much to lose for track position go ahead and take this opportunity.
That really opens up your options later in the event.
Yes, but I still say everyone will be dictated by rain. Takuma Sato getting his service finished.
Up now. Go pack up.
EJ Viso, J.R. Hildebrand flash by down the straightaway as Takuma Sato heads back out. Talked to the Rahal Letterman Lanigan team, and they said Sato is hoping for rain.
Oh, yeah.
He would much rather run in the rain, and he was actually pretty quick in a practice session in the rain the other day. So Sato, one of those drivers, not disappointed to see a little moisture coming down.
Okay, now this is going to be interesting to see. Bourdais, if he's running as good as he's been running, I think this restart is going to be pretty exciting.
And Sebastian Bourdais is not afraid to make moves around the outside, so turn one should be awesome.
Well, our leaders had the opportunity to dive into the pits. They did not. We're underneath full course caution for the first time from here at Baltimore, the Grand Prix of Baltimore. We'll be back to more from Baltimore, the mean streets, right after this. Every week, the NBC Sports Network takes you behind the scenes of the biggest matchups in Major League Baseball. This week, go inside Orioles and Yankees on Caught Looking, Thursday, 9 Eastern on the NBC Sports Network. Full course caution is out at the exit of the chicane at Carpenter, and it is Carpenter's first DNF of the season. Take a look from on board with Charlie Kimball.
And you'll see that he actually does pretty well on the first one. It's the second curve that he catches there, Wally. And when that front wheel comes off the ground, obviously you'll see it here, the second curve, as soon as he catches it, the whole front comes off, and there's no way you're going to turn.
Yeah, I mean, he bottomed on the curve. When he hit that curve, it bottomed out, and once that happens, you've lost control.
And if you think back over the last couple of races, we haven't seen many full course cautions, so this is one of the few, and it has closed the gap back up. And I'm sure Will Power didn't want to see it. Sebastian Bourdais had been closing down on him in the last 3 laps. It closed it down to about 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, Sebastian likes it for 2 reasons. One is that he has a chance to go after Will Power. Number 2, he can rest that shoulder.
Yeah,
because he did say he's good for a few laps and then he really has intense pain. But I agree with Wally. I think that Sebastian Bourdais is going to go after Will Power, but he's won 4 championships himself. He knows he can't do something crazy and take Will Power out, so he'll do it respectfully.
Of course, the other thing he wants to do is move up on the all-time win list. You look right now, he's right there tied with Paul Tracy, and you know the relationship they have, that probably doesn't sit too well. Everybody's got a long way to go to get to AJ, though.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, just to let you know, the legit rain has now hit pit road, so it's raining big drops down here now. All the teams on my end of pit road have now pulled out rain tires. They have them up on the wall. We could be making a move to rain tires here any moment. But again, they think this is the small shower. The big rain is not quite here yet.
Marty, have you heard of anybody that maybe went to a rain setup for this race?
No, I did ask Tim Cindric, and I said, do you think anyone is on a rain setup right now? And he said, I really don't think anyone's made that move this early in the race. So I think the answer to that, Wally, is no right now, but they're going to have to try it with the rain tires here in a little bit.
Well, Mitch Davis told me from Charlie Kimball's car that they did start with the rain setup, so just curious to see if that works out for them.
We'll see if the shower passes us by when we come back to Baltimore. More IndyCar action coming your way. Welcome back to the Grand Prix of Baltimore, presented by SRT on the NBC Sports Network. And you can tell from the shots from the helicopter, there are some showers in the area, and they're actually one on top of the racetrack. And it's a little bit damp out there. The leaders have not come to the pits during this full course caution because of the crash for Ed Carpenter. For more on Ed, let's check in with Townsend Bell.
Well, thanks, Brian. Ed, not the way we wanted to see you end this thing this early. You know, a great start for you, your best career start. Tell us what happened out there.
It was a good weekend for us. You know, it's a disappointment for the team and Fuzzy's Vodka. We had a good finishing streak going, and we ended that. But the good news is we had a better weekend. We had more pace. we were running better in the race as well. So, I mean, it's progress. You and I were talking about it last week, so I'd rather show Fuzzy Vodka guys progress than start last and run around last. So, I'm really disappointed in myself because, I just tossed away a really good opportunity to get us a result. But we'll just come back fighting next time.
I should point out, your first DNF this season, you're the only driver that's gone that long without a DNF.
I know. I really wanted to finish the year out. I don't know that it's been a long time since someone's done it, so disappointed for that. But gonna move on from today and start thinking about winning Fontana.
All right, I'm gonna put in a good word for you with your team owner.
Takuma Sato,
okay, Tony's number.
Takuma Sato just in the pits, stayed with slicks and just splashed with fuel.
Yeah, as long as you're at the back.
Track's wet, the tires are cold. Let me tell you something. These guys are going to be sliding around here when this thing goes green.
I'm about to tighten up my belts right now. Side-by-side restarts. Will Power on your left, driver's right. And this is about to be discovery in the braking zone.
Oh, look at Simon Pagno. Simon Pagno, blue and white car, going up the inside.
Bourdais looks around the outside. That's not going to work. Dixon tries to move.
Hinchcliffe in the middle does a nice job.
Good stuff. Dario in black livery this weekend.
Whoa, look at these guys are sliding, I'm telling you.
Will Power in front in that black and white Verizon entry. Sebastian Bourdais, his white and blue 7, may get a move off the hairpin.
And definitely some contact there, quite a few. One of those was Marco Andretti. That's Pagno leading that group, and they're tiptoeing through because it's really slick there.
Trying to get the power down off turn 4. James Hinchcliffe in that green, number 27. And he's passed right now. This is good. Ryan Hunter-Ray works his way by.
Wow. Uh-oh, Conway gets turned around.
I was getting ready to say, you can't go side-by-side through there.
Bruno Junqueira does not look like his car is still running. Of course, Conway's is.
Aggressive drivers, cold tires, damp racetrack, restart.
Yeah, and it's always exciting. Yeah, he's going to have to try to get a start here, but
you saw Bruno Junqueira move his finger in a circular motion. It says, I need help with a restart.
Caution is out.
Oh, Bourdais is spun. Did he make contact with the wall?
Look how wet it is right there, though.
Yeah, you can see the shininess of the surface and the way these cars come off.
Hearing that he did not touch, and that's good news. That car has been handling very well. That white number 7, the McAfee on the rear wing. But just trying to get the power down coming off the corner onto the front straightaway wall.
You've got to treat the throttle like there's an egg underneath that pedal.
He's saying, I lost it under yellow. Can I reposition?
Please.
That's
immediately
right, on the button.
But immediately. He came on the radio and he said, I spun myself. I should get back to second. That's where we really should be.
Yeah, but doesn't it come back to maintain and pick car speed if you don't, if you pace car speed?
Yeah, I think that applies on the grid, but not here. There's Bruno Junqueira, of course. You can see the rain coming down at the moment that he did lose that. Now let's look at that contact. That was a little bit of help, I believe, by Castro Neves on the back of Conway.
I think you're right, Jan. Take a look.
Overhead view. Watch the Penske truck rental. Castro Neves.
Said he might use a chrome horn. He did there.
They may have ganged up on him. Sebastian Bourdais.
Oh, and it looked to me like also there was help for Junqueira, too. Now, here's what we're looking at for Bourdais. Marty?
Well, guys, Dario Franchitti coming to pit road here. These will be slick black tires are the primary tires they will put on and head back out on the racetrack. The rain down here, just for your information, has stopped. They told Will Power that before the last stop, before the last restart. They said it stopped by the start-finish line. He said, yeah, but the rest of the track's wet over by, especially by 10 and 11, and that's where Sebastian Bourdais had his problems.
Mike Conway in as well, and the number 14. Go, go, go. Red still on the 14.
So to wrap up on the whole situation for Sebastian Bourdais, you can reposition before the start of a race, but if you spin under caution, they're not going to let you go back and take your position, in my opinion. He lost that. I think he'll have to stay there.
Yeah, I'm going to agree with you, Jan. That's...
The driver has to I think the driver's got to make the call how wet it is. Yeah. Listen, the crew guys can say all they want, but you're sitting there looking from this spot. Guess what? It's pretty wet. So
well, and here's what adds to even more, Wally, is the fact that rain shower has kind of passed, they think. So do you put on rain tires when only part of the track is wet, or what do? You just survive through that one part of the track.
But I think that's still, that becomes a driver. Yeah, a driver has to make that decision. If he feels comfortable that it's wet, but I can get through it the way I am. I think it really has to go to the driver are making that call.
Right now, though, would you?
We've got our first taker for rain tires, it appears. Alex Tagliani and the Barracuda Racing Team have put out the wets now. He hasn't committed to coming in, so maybe this is just being on the ready in case they decide to come in.
Well, I'll tell you what, the incident between Helio Castroneves, Mike Conway is under review. Hildebrand with some damage on the left front of his wing.
Because he got into the back of Bruno Junqueira. We saw that secondarily from the overhead shot, so he turned around Junqueira in that same spot.
I'll tell you the driver that I think is very brave right now, Dario Franchitti with cold black tires, the primary tire. He took brand new tires on that last pit stop.
Look at the tires. Take a look at the front tires. That when they're shiny like that, it's how damp it is. So
Dario out there with brand new tires. Hard, cold, and wet. I tell you, many of the crews now.
It looks like, Marty, I don't know where you are in pit lane, but down here on the edges of pit lane, it's raining.
I'm telling you, it is not raining at the end of pit lane. That's the,
am I crazy, guys, or what?
We're not that far. What's the Weather Rock say, Wally? What does the Weather Rock say? The Weather Rock says the racetrack is wet?
Yeah.
Well, the Weather Rock on this end says dry. So, in fact, Briscoe had rain tires out. They decided to pull those in. So, I'm telling you, I think this is one shower that's passing quickly.
Bruno Junqueira in and out, and I believe
that looked like rain tires.
Yep. So Bruno Junqueira does have wets. EJ Pitted put wets on.
Go as easy as you can on these wets here.
Well, I think Marty makes a very good point. If it's dry down on that end of pit lane and wet on this end, it's the same on the racetrack. You're going to have different conditions across this racetrack. There's a look at the weather radar.
See, Marty's way up there where it says Delta. We're down here around Washington.
Now,
here's from the booth, Marty, so take a look.
That is rain.
Yeah. Now, for those who just stopped and got rain tires, they may have just pulled off a great strategy because everyone who stops now to get rain tires, they'll cycle forward.
In my little Al Roker here, it's 86 degrees. You saw that, high humidity. And now, but look at this. This is coming down into the hairpin turn 3, and that area doesn't really look that damp at all.
But I think you'll lose more time on dries if the track is half dry and half wet than you would the other way around. Those rain tires work pretty good when it's dry.
I think what we're going to see is Jan's comments about pit strategy at the beginning of this race. The rain has really changed that. There'll be multiple stops, and you won't need it for fuel. It'll be either to go to rains or get off of rain tires as they begin to chunk if the track begins to dry.
I'll tell you what, this is going to be a rodeo right here.
You got guys on rain tires, guys on slick tires, guys on warmer slick tires, guys on sticker slick tires, primaries and secondaries.
And to show you how much the debate is, there's Briscoe's laid out tires once again to come get them and give up the track position he has. So I think Ryan Briscoe will now come down and get rain tires. This is going to be very interesting. And imagine how nervous Will Power is. He knows he has the slicks on. He knows part of the racetrack is wet, part is dry. This could be very big in the championship standings.
Tag is in as well.
Oh, no. Hey, Bourdais listed as second on the scoring, and he just went by in second place behind Will Power. So I think he might have got moved back to second, boys and girls.
Wow, they let him have it back. I'm surprised.
French diplomacy.
Well, good for him. Good for him for saying, okay, the positions were locked down under yellow.
Green, this time fine.
So they just replaced the way. They didn't put rains out.
And guys, just to follow up, Ryan Briscoe did not pit. He waved off the rain tires. He said initially, I want them. Then he waved them off and said, I will stay with slicks.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to want rain tires right now, Brian.
It's raining down the front straightaway. Here we go. Hold on. Nope. You can't even see. Look at the spray.
By the way, Bourdais is back. Bourdais did not regain second spot. So look how they have to just tiptoe through here.
Clear.
It's so difficult, especially for the guys in front. They are the pathfinders. They're the first ones to it.
Exactly.
My, oh my.
That was a better start than when we took the green, the initial green.
It looks like Kanaan going up the inside of Pagano. That's in the Geico colors, blue and white. That was a nice move.
On board, Brian Hunter-Wright.
I think Bourdais picked up a couple of spots there, though, because he's in front of Kanaan right now.
Pagano right there in front of Brian Hunter-Wright.
Pagano, that wheel spin. Oh,
and here
Castro
we go.
Neves and Viso.
And Elio still under review for his impact with Mike Conway, and now he's involved in yet another. And Will Power once again is leaping out in front of Scott Dixon. They haven't even completed a lap yet. But
Wally, you're right. Sebastian Bourdais had to drop back. They didn't let him keep that second spot, and now he's on a charge.
There we go.
Oh, wow, you can see the tracks. That is so dangerous on slicks.
You've ever driven it home in your car when the tires are wearing out in a rainstorm and you feel that little hydroplaning? That's one thing. You're not in an Indy car that's capable of going 180 miles an hour down city streets with concrete walls on either side.
You basically have to do everything in slow motion in the rain. Brakes, throttle, turn in the car.
Turn 4 just moments ago. You're on board with Oriol Servia, and he makes the contact with Charlie Kimball, and it spits Elio out to the outside.
Two more guys off.
Is that Wilson? That looks like Wilson went straight in turn 1, and he was battling with Bourdais. Wow, and Ryan Hunter-Reay now trying to go to the outside if he can, and Hinchcliffe goes up the inside.
Simon Pagenaud in the blue 77. Hinchcliffe in the 27, the green to the left. Full course caution, and the pits are open. It's Marco Andretti in the number 26, the Dr. Pepper entry into the tires. And
well, you knew it was coming eventually.
No, you had to.
Now everybody's coming in. Dixon's in. Bourdais is in. Pagenaud's in.
But Ryan Hunter-Reay stays out. So Hunter-Reay is going to take a gamble, and he'll take the lead.
Well, and doesn't he have to? I mean,
hey guys, you see Will Power, the very front end of pit road. He will put on rain tires. Hanging on is what he said on those last few laps, and it has started to rain now finally on pit road as he leaves pit road with those rain tires.
Close for Bourdais getting out of the pits. Almost got into, I believe that's Ryan Briscoe there in the blue. Helio Castroneves now in his yellow number 3. Behind him, Dario Franchitti just coming out. Oh, and that's close at pit out. Servia, Di Silvestro.
Hang on.
Yeah, they have some problems here with Castroneves. Long pit stop there.
Yeah, that is not what he wanted to see. James Jakes right there in front of him. Castroneves not having a good day. He's down in turn 1, I believe. That's right there.
So Power stayed out, correct? No, Power didn't come. So Hunter-Reay is in the lead, which, great move by those guys. They had to do something. There's such a gap there in the point. So.
And when you look at push to pass, it used a fair amount of that, trying to move up and get position. So they're willing to gamble right now to move the car forward.
Both Andretti cars, Hinchcliffe as well.
The Home Ultra safety crew works to get Marco Andretti out, and he is buried in there pretty well. And we talked about Justin Wilson having a problem. This is down in turn 1.
He's battling.
Somebody comes in way.
That's Wilson.
Okay.
And a good call on his part. Another car right behind him.
Tony Kanaan followed him through. Oh, and Tony Kanaan. Wilson did what he was supposed to stop to be waved. And Tony Kanaan said, "See ya."
See right here. This is Marco here. It's just a little bit wide.
I got it.
Just couldn't get it turned. Yeah, just.
At that point, you've got to decide that's not going to work. I got to take the escape road.
When in doubt, straighten it out, and he didn't. Marco Andretti in the tires, and it brings out the full course caution. We got so many decisions you've got to make, and Marco Andretti made the wrong one. Full course caution out again from the Grand Prix of Baltimore. The IZOD IndyCar Series. We'll have more when we come back. Well, the rain coming down in Baltimore, and that is really going to make things interesting. Well, you can call Star Indy for live in-car cameras, driver, pit crew chatter, and more. That would be a great time to do it because it is getting interesting. Download IndyCar Mobile only from Verizon.
And, Brian, the thing to watch for here, as you look at those cars, the first 6 cars are on slick tires. So if they go green here, you're going to have 6 of the lead cars on slicks trying to go down to turn 1, which is clearly now wet.
Well, and Ryan Hunter-Reay has James Hinchcliffe with him right there, and he can kind of be his tail gunner and provide a little defense, perhaps. Hunter-Reay trying to stay in that championship hunt. Hinchcliffe, mathematically, he's there, but for all intents and purposes, he's really out of it. So perhaps he can do a little blocking if need be. We know Dario has said he'll protect Scott Dixon. So teammates working with teammates as we come back through the chicane, line up side by side again.
Wow.
For a double file restart.
Like on ice for those first 6 drivers.
Guys on rain tires are going to be a lot more aggressive, though, in these conditions. So we'll see what happens here.
Over the bumps, the braking zone. This is where it's all going to go wrong. Yeah. Oh, look there on the outside. Somebody comes in deep, and you got to wonder. I couldn't tell who it was. Were they on rain tires? I think it's EJ Viso. Viso on wets. Oh, and there's Dario. We were just talking about him. He's on wets. Spun in turn 1, but it'll be interesting to see if that was on his own or if he had a little help. Man.
No, Wilson, you got to watch here in these conditions. He's pretty good in the wet. Putting some pressure on Hinchcliffe.
Full course yellow. That would be for Franchitti. This is definitely a bonus for those in the front.
Simona Di Silvestro with damage on the front wing.
This was good. This was good. Good job.
Not sure.
I believe that's Michael Andretti, because that's what.
Hopefully we'll get a chance to dry out now.
Yeah. That's Michael talking to Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, copy.
When we talked about it, you needed to gamble. If you're Ryan Hunter-Reay, you got knocked back in Sonoma, literally and figuratively, in the points, and so you've got to do everything that you can. This is turn 1.
And Simona De Silvestro, that's why the wing got damaged, because she got in the back of Dario Franchitti.
Just couldn't get it slowed down. I'm not sure I saw much lockup there, but she just couldn't get the car slowed down.
And Michael Andretti, I agree with. This is a great bonus for those in front on slicks, because it doesn't appear, at least on that shot, as though it's still raining. It might dry a little bit.
Although we'll see how many guys duck in right now and get those wets off and put the dries back on.
I think once you have taken the gamble, you have to stay with it.
I wouldn't. I mean, if it looks like it's going to be clear, I'm getting those rain tires off right now.
No, I'm talking uptime. I'm talking about the first 6.
Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the guys on the rain tires. Yeah.
Well, you know, we talked about when we came in here that willpower and the streets, there's no margin for error, and certainly you get mixed up with all this traffic. He's got a championship on the line, and this has to make him hold his breath.
Hey, lock that right front up just a little bit.
He had a little contact there with Bruno.
Like he said, I'm not going to do much differently. I don't want to hold back. That's not what I've done all year long. And he looks up into the inside of Junqueira there in that blue and black IndyCar, and just a little contact.
But Brian, when he came by pit road, he actually asked Tim Sundrick to look at the wing, and Tim said it looks fine to us. They are going to keep him out there. They do not think there's any wing damage permanently for willpower.
They are reviewing the 78. That's, of course, Simona De Silvestro and that contact with Dario Franchitti. Most likely, I mean, that's a fairly easy call, don't you think, Wally?
Yeah, I would agree.
And there's what you're talking about. I was talking about if you're on slicks in the front, keep them there.
It looks like I think it's going to be dry really quick.
But they're doing exactly what you say, Wally. Take the opportunity.
Everybody, the 10 car, you see.
That was the
for
power.
Yeah, that was willpower you guys heard, and he wants to put slicks on. Also, Ryan Briscoe's going to come down pit road and slicks on. So a lot of these guys are going to hit pit road and come and get slicks.
Why did Ryan Hunter-Reay peel off? I thought Ryan Hunter-Reay was in a perfect position on slicks, and he just hit pit road.
But still, he still should come out okay. He's got a lot of cars behind him that are going to be
but he just let all these guys go by.
3, 2, 1. Keep the revs up.
Ryan Hunter-Reay is coming in. These are not rain tires. These are the red alternate tires. Marty?
Sebastian Bourdais, also Ryan Briscoe coming down pit road. They will go to slicks, both on reds. Sebastian Bourdais on slicks, and also, or sticker tires, I should say, Ryan Briscoe. Those are on used tires. one cycle on those tires. Will Power deciding not to pit, listening to the radio conversation with those guys. He said, let's stay on the rain tires. Well, now they put the tires back out for Will Power, so a little confusion down here for Will Power's team.
And that is confusion. You'd think if he saw Ryan Hunter-Reay come, that he would come with him if he wanted to go back to dry tires, but now he's out on the racetrack. He's going to lose that position again.
So just take the green.
One to go.
Wow.
And I think
you know what? I think you hit it on the nail on the head. They were just pre-programmed to do exactly the opposite of whatever Ryan Hunter-Reay did, and Mike Landretti just threw. No way was I expecting Ryan Hunter-Reay to come on pit road. It either was Will Power.
But he still has one of his cars up front right now. So he threw the dice and gambled with one.
Wow.
Interesting. You know that Power, if it begins to dry on those wets, is going to fall backwards. He's going to have to make that change.
He's not in a good position there.
Ryan Hunter-Reay is going to go back past him. Hinchcliffe up front now. He's taken over the point. And when we look at this section of the racetrack, and I know it's a different type of surface there, it looks reasonably dry. But off of turn 4 here, it's certainly dry.
Yeah, but
this is points as they run.
If it's not raining, it will dry out real fast. You will have a line very quick with these cars. And Power's not in a very good position right now. I'd take it right now.
Points as they run. Power, Hunter-Reay down by 53. Dixon, and then Castroneves. So James Hinchcliffe behind the safety car. And we'll look back as the cars go through. There's Will Power, the 4th car in line. And there's Ryan Hunter-Reay in the yellow and white number 28 as he goes by. So he's not that far behind on the racetrack, so that's allowed him to close in this full course caution. And when we go back to green, Power is going to have to stop for slicks.
Yeah, because when they're dry, the rain tires on a dry surface, it chews them up really hard. You have to start searching for water to keep them cool. Now, this part of the racetrack is fairly wet yet.
The problem is there is no standing water. There really never was much.
It will dry out fast. Now that it's not raining, you'll get it dried out really quick.
Through the chicane, side-by-side restarts, and the green flag waves again. James Hinchcliffe leads him to turn 1. Takuma Sato on the right. He said he wanted it slick. Well, it's pretty slick right now. Not full wet. And Hinchcliffe makes contact.
That's Bruno Junqueira trying to get his lap back. Wow.
Right in the thick of it. And Sato has just exploded out of
Power way down on the inside.
Oh, my.
Hinchcliffe staying on the outside in that green.
This is exactly where Power did not want to be today. Did not want to be mixing it up with these guys.
Oriol Servia takes a look on the inside.
Understanding that Simona Di Silvestro will get a drive-through penalty for avoidable contact. We thought that would happen after watching the replay, and it really tightens up in turns 5, 6, and 7 here. Dixon running somewhat wounded out on the racetrack, just like Will Power, because he too has wets on, and it is, Wally, you called it, it's drying up very quickly.
Yeah, you'll see Dixon start looking for water. He'll look for those wet places on the racetrack to cool the tires down. You only do that for so long. He's going to have to come in and get those tires off.
Kimball goes to the inside of Servia.
Hunter-Reay taking a look on Servia. Looks like he's got it done.
Oh, this is the slickest part. That's James Jakes, but he hangs on to it.
James Jakes, very good.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? You've got different grip levels in different areas of the racetrack, and it's going to change every single lap. You've got to make the read.
Right.
Hinchcliffe back around Junqueira.
Not for position, but he's glad to be clear.
Hey,
and there's Will Power.
Time there.
He's hanging in there.
Dixon right behind Power on the racetrack, so they're driving basically the same car.
See, Ryan Hunter-Reay there, 4th in that group. Because of that pit strategy, he really needs to make time now, but he's stuck in traffic.
Right on board with J.R. Hildebrand. He's on slicks.
Oh, he gets, yes, he gets Jakes.
So Ryan Hunter-Reay moving up a position.
Now he's after Viso. Oh, he's going to try it in 5.
And gets it done easily. Viso on wet, so you would expect that a little bit. Look at this. Jakes really putting the pressure on Viso. And
yeah, Jake's just in a hurry right here.
We're going to say everybody's blowing by.
That's Jimmy Vassar. That's Jimmy Vassar, and I don't think he had to tell EJ that. He could see everyone's blowing by him.
You heard Jimmy say, I'm making the call this time.
But that's how fast these rain tires go off when it dries. It's just all of a sudden, they're gone.
Which means, of course, Will Power's got to be hitting pit road soon.
He's driving the same tire, so is Scott Dixon. This is their only reprieve. This corner section turns 11 and 12 onto the front straightaway.
The problem is that once you eat those rain tires up at the dry, it doesn't matter if you find water or not because they're shot.
Junqueira just there in front of Will Power. Junqueira in the blue car. Will Power in the familiar.
Ryan Hunter-Reay has caught to Scott Dixon, so he should be able to easily get by him on the approach coming up here to turn 3. Scott Dixon's going to make him go around the outside, and he does easily.
Oh, hang on.
Wow,
Bourdain throws it in there.
He and Jakes, he gets Jakes on the exit.
But a good drive off the corner. They may be side by side again. Goodness, look at this. Jakes and Bourdain almost touching the wall at the exit.
Jakes is on it. And now Bourdais getting passed by Barrichello.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
I've seen more side-by-side.
Here comes Power. Power's on pit lane.
Same Dixon as well.
Seen more side-by-side in turns 5 and 6 where you'd think it would never happen. Will Power has finally given up the ghost. He's going to have to change.
Well, Tim Cindric said nobody's passed us yet, but then everybody started catching them. You also see Scott Dixon back there. They also will be taking red tires for Scott Dixon and Will Power. These are scuffed tires. Will did the best he could on those rain tires. They'll send him back on the track. This is going to play out very interesting, guys. Pitting on lap 28.
Dixon right behind him as well, coming in for slicks. Tagliani in. Franchitti. And they had to do it. You couldn't stay out any longer. The gap being closed to the nearest competitors behind him. You have to take advantage while you can.
Look at this pack of racing right here. This is good stuff. Here's Pagenaud. Briscoe's in there.
Briscoe right behind Pagenaud, working past Bruno Junqueira.
Yeah, the way Bruno's dropping back, of course, he's on the wet tires as well. Did not decide to pit that time. Castro Neves now looking again. Remember, he had contact earlier with Conway. This time he gets it done.
Castro Neves there in the yellow number 3, the 14, Mike Conway right behind him. And this is so interesting. The only 2 cars right now, EJ Viso was pitting, we know that, and they called Junqueira in. The only 2 cars left on wets.
Sato is gone.
Fuel here, so go into fuel saving mode.
On that man right there, Ray Hall.
Good job by Takuma Sato. He wanted wet conditions, and it makes you wonder, did they not set the car up a little softer for weather that they were gambling on coming? It's Sato who leads from Baltimore. Ryan Hunter-Reay just flashes by in his yellow DHL machine, trying to chase down this man, Takuma Sato, who has a 6-second lead here at Baltimore. James Hinchcliffe comes to the pits. Kevin?
Good first stint for Hinchcliffe. He worked his way up from mid-pack all the way to the front. He's going to use a set of primary black tires here. And let's see where he recycles out.
Hinchcliffe in 3rd.
Clear behind Elio.
Clear behind Elio. Probably 16th or so, I would think. And the thing that's interesting, though, Hinchcliffe having a good run. He's only burned up 1 second of his push to pass time. Looking through it, Graham Rahal running 2nd right now. Hasn't used the button at all. And we talk about Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to move back up. Currently in 3rd. He's burned up 41 seconds of his, so he's used just over half of his push to pass time.
Now for Takuma Sato, he actually hit the pit window when he pitted early, so he has to save maybe a little bit of fuel, but assuming it stays like this, he still only has 1 stop left. So that was fantastic strategy by the Rahal team.
And just before we went to break, you heard Bobby Rahal on the radio.
0.61 is the number.
And that's a fuel number. 0.61 is how many that's 0.69 of a gallon per lap that you're burning. It's what they're telling him for that fuel target.
Sent James Jakes with a problem in turn 1. Been running 6th.
Oh, he just locked it up and just had to almost got Kimball. And that's really a shame because Jakes was having a great race.
Oh, man, he was very racy today, to say the least. There he goes. He's rejoined. He does a good job for Dale Coyne, and it's that one little mistake. We talk about the undulations in the road. That's what a street circuit is all about, the different pavement changes, and I think it just caught him out. Talk about qualifying yesterday. Will Power made the same mistake twice.
Right. And you know, and James he's lost a few spots. He's in 11th. He can still regain that, but he's doing a great job today.
As a driver, you just have to put that out of your head, don't you, Jan?
Oh, yeah. Back to the Sato situation. Remember that he had come in, and here's 3 wide into turn 1. Pagenaud leads Wilson, and it looks like Kanaan is going to get a spot on Bourdais.
Pagenaud is, if he gets up there to the front, he's going to make things interesting as well. He has been fast here all weekend.
Takuma Sato out in front. We're wondering about their pit strategy and trying to save fuel. Townsend has more.
Yeah, standing here with Bobby Rahal. He's in the midst of meeting with Jay O'Connell, their technical director, just working the strategy. What a difference a weekend makes for these guys. They were nowhere in Sonoma. They're firmly back in the game here. Right now, right on pace for a good finish.
And, of course, Townsend, what they did was they had pitted early for tires, and then when there was a caution period, they decided to swing through and top off on fuel. Remember we saw Sato come through and just take fuel? Oh, it's perfect because it got him in the window. He has to save a little, but they'll still only have to stop one more time.
That was Bourdais that just hit pit lane, I believe.
Bourdais is in.
You guys, he's on pit road. Now, I'm not sure why they're pitting. He's actually pointing to the right rear as if something is wrong on the right rear of the car. They pitted on lap 23 and took on red tires at that time. You see the battle on the track between Graham Rahal and Takuma Sato. And Sebastian Bourdais leads, but he pointed to the right rear of the car, and they were here for quite a while. We'll see what's going on.
Got a caution out, but Graham Rahal made up about 6 seconds on Sato.
Oh, it's Jakes.
Graham Rahal made 6 seconds up on Sato there in the last 3 or 4 laps. So,
well, that's what's impressive. And for James Jakes, Jan, we were talking about it. You've got to put the mistake behind you. If you don't, you'll take it into the next corner and around that next lap. And perhaps James Jakes still a little hot under the helmet as Rahal comes to the pits.
Second stop for Graham Rahal. Because they didn't make it through the first round of qualifying, he has 2 sets of sticker reds. This is another set of sticker reds for Graham Rahal, who's having a strong run here today.
Why wouldn't Sato come in?
Sato doesn't need to. I'm surprised that Rahal, they must not have got all the fuel for Graham Rahal on his last stop. And actually for Sato, this is exactly what he wanted because he gets a little bit of caution time. You don't burn as much fuel.
Yeah.
He's looking great. I mean, they shouldn't have to pit again until, let's say, lap 46. So Rahal must not have had all the fuel he needed. Marty?
And guys, indeed, there was a problem for Sebastian Bourdais. It was a cut right rear tire. That's why they had to come to pit road. They have new tires on, but they look like they were headed for a podium. Got a lot of ground to make up now.
Wow, and that is disappointing. You're driving hurt anyway. And then for a guy like Bourdais, you've got to come in, spend time in the pits, and now try to make up even more time.
Especially when you have a rocket ship like he's had all day long.
Bourdais back in the pits. And
maybe there's something more serious than a cut tire.
1 in.
Yeah, it looks to me like he's gone back out and said that wasn't the fix. And we talk about him being uncomfortable. I can tell you why he's uncomfortable. This was Sonoma last weekend.
Yeah, you see him slide. Josef Newgarden takes a hit, but the car bounces right back into the side of Bourdais. That was the gearbox that went right into the side pod.
Actually split the chassis, bam, right there. Split the chassis on Bourdais' car right in half.
And for Josef Newgarden in the 67, he had some damage to a finger that he had to have surgery on, but you called it big hit for Sebastian Bourdais. We'll find out more about Bourdais and what the problems may be when we come back to Baltimore. It's the Grand Prix of Baltimore. Takuma Sato leads.
Back in Baltimore, Sebastian Bourdais, unfortunately out of the race. We thought it was a cut right rear tire. What at the end of the day was it?
It's something in the right front suspension. I thought it was the rear because all of a sudden the car felt like it was sitting on the right rear with the steering completely off, and I thought I had a cut, an instant cut on the right rear, but that wasn't it. It's something on the front suspension.
How much pain were you in today, Sebastian? You and I talked yesterday.
No, I had the chance to meet a great doctor here. So it's just a tough break, you know. Like, nothing's going to ever walk out this year, so we've been fast, but we just could not put it together.
Man, I felt the physical pain, but when you have a car that fast, painful to be out. And also his last event of the season. Ryan?
It is so disappointing. He is a champion at heart and a champion on the racetrack, and it just will not go his way today. And a great drive. The car looked like it was absolutely hooked up. We've had plenty of excitement from here in Baltimore today. Let's take a look at our IZOD race recap.
And, of course, the action started right from the start. And if you look at the background, watch Ryan Hunter-Reay. Pow! Pops out there with the DHL colors, already making moves. And a very nice job by Will Power. Nice managed through turn number 1. And, of course, they got up towards the next lap, where Sebastian Bourdais aggressively, we just talked about how racy he's been. He showed that in the beginning of the race, getting by Scott Dixon. Not the case for Ed Carpenter. Yes, he was very racy, had his best starting position on a road course, but unfortunately, as he said, gave that one away. A little help, like Conway had, with Castro Neves turning him around. They reviewed it, didn't get a penalty, and you see Bruno Junqueira at top of the screen got some help as well. Now Sebastian was racing in the wet too, but a little too much. Coming off of turn number 12, didn't hit anything, kept it running, and this was definitive. You see Ryan Hunter-Reay stayed on the course. Will Power decided to pit and go for those rain tires. Then it started to rain, which looked like it was a good call for Will Power because it was slick enough and you wanted to have it. Even though, but on the restart, when it all got shuffled with those pitting and not pitting, Bruno Junqueira decided, hey, I want to get my lap back. But in the front, Takuma Sato took advantage of topping off, having nice hot red sidewalled alternates, and he stays there as we run.
Just impressive stuff by Takuma Sato. 35 laps of 75 in the books, and Will Power has led 18 of them. But Sato has been the one that's been on a march as of late. If you think about it, from the start, Sato's improved 23 positions. So impressive stuff. Ryan Hunter-Reay with 3. James Hinchcliffe been up at the front throughout the day as well. But when you think about, let's take a look at the pit strategy real quick. Sato, last pit stop on lap 13, or 13 laps ago, I should say.
And he's fine because of this caution. That now gives them some breathing room, and he'll now have one more stop in his future. There will be some people behind him that can be more racy because they can use a little more fuel, but he won't have an additional stop. Now watch Ryan Hunter-Reay. I think he's going to be on it.
He's had some great starts here so far today, and he has another good one.
And there's another.
Kimball
Charlie
to the
Kimball.
inside.
Wow.
Nice.
Look at Pagano.
Holy mackerel, he came out of nowhere. I told you, Pagano got to the front. These guys were in trouble.
Both Sato and Hunter-Reay were on their push to pass when we went back to green, but Pagano must have been as well. He timed that perfectly, and Hinchcliffe with a problem. Cut down right front tire that we can see from here.
It's going to be probably another caution.
Another full course caution. Wow, Simon Pagano.
There was a lot of guys that made great starts on that last big start.
That was spectacular.
Sato, unfortunately, not one of them.
And it must be more damage than just the cut down right front. The car looks okay from here, but James Hinchcliffe standing up, and Hinch had been having a pretty good run. We talked about it. He led a couple of laps, but something in the front suspension that he's trying to look at to see if there's more to it. I don't know about you guys, but as a race car driver, I wasn't a very good mechanic.
Well, he was enough to say, hey, I just checked it out. Just refire me. I can get it back.
So as Hinchcliffe gets back in and tries to get back underway, here's the restart from on board with Simon Pagenaud.
He must have had perfect timing right here. And he does. He gets a run on Kimball. Blows by Kimball.
Right here. Well, back to the inside.
And then Kimball got stuck up behind Sato, and then that allowed him to drop back to the inside. Spectacular.
Kimball made a good move there as well.
He did. Kimball pops out. He has a run. And then all of a sudden, where did Pagenaud come from? Nicely done.
And Sato just did not time it well. He was on his push-to-pass button, but he's dropped all the way to 5th on that restart.
Guys, Sato came on the radio to Bobby Rahal and just said, I didn't have any power on the start. Bobby said, look, it's your job to set the pace. He said, I know, I didn't have any power.
It looked like it, Townsend. It just looks like...
Wonder if he was in the wrong gear.
Take for the green car. Oh, Hinchcliffe just got loose.
Oh, he got a little side to side there with Conway, but it looked almost like he got a tank slapper on his own.
Yeah.
The car doesn't. The car didn't look right even after he made the contact. I know the right front was down, but it still looked. I think maybe that's what Hinchcliffe was thinking as well. And there must be something askew. Under full course caution, James Hinchcliffe getting fired back up. He'll get back around to the pits. But for Simon Pagenaud, things are looking up from here in Baltimore. Sights and sounds of Baltimore, and there's probably one of the best seats in the house or in the building, depends on how you want to look at it. You know, Helio Castroneves is in problems, Marty.
Yes, indeed, replacing the front wing, Brian, and he had some contact on the racetrack, lost the entire right side of the wing. He'll leave pit road fairly quickly, but will lose a ton of track position.
I think Castroneves is going to be looking for the exit side.
You're okay. You're okay. They're just coming to the green.
He's going to be losing more hope about a championship. It's like turn 2 where that front wing, or half of the front wing, I should say, has landed. I'm surprised they haven't gotten that out of the way. Green, green, green. Pagenaud with a fantastic restart. The last time by has Charlie Kimball right up underneath his rear wing, and Ryan Hunter-Reay on the outside.
Kimball's in a good spot if he can hold it off.
Right behind you. Take off.
Wow. He got him. Kimball the second.
Wow. Impressive stuff by Charlie Kimball.
Oh, man. It was Tony Kanaan right behind Ryan Hunter-Reay having to take avoiding action.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, Takuma Sato almost got into the back of him. Caution is out again. Simona Di Silvestro with a problem.
After the chicane.
Sam, you stay in the car, right?
Don't see any damage to the car.
Looks like maybe the left front.
Look at it. I can't see damage from here. I saw you go straight up and down, but you didn't hit the wall, did you? So let's just have a look, see if it rolls. So the engine died or what?
On board with Charlie Kimball.
Yeah, Charlie's having a good day today. Dyson here really hard, gets underneath Hunter-Reay. This is where you have to have a little bit more on him because you go into a left-hander right here. He pulled it off. Nice pass.
Looking a little further back.
Oh, yeah, you can see.
Oh,
she jumped the curb. You could see the car in the air way before it even came in the frame there, so she did get a piece of it.
Definitely the
Boom,
left
right there.
is askew.
Ooh, very similar to Ed Carpenter's crash.
Once you bottom out like that, once you run completely over the curb where you're bottoming out, you're done.
And you can see the movement in it as she rolls, but when she comes to a stop, everything looks okay, but that was a big hit. So the chicane has bitten again, but for Charlie Kimball, what a fantastic restart. And scary times for Ryan Hunter-Reay. He had Takuma Sato behind him, gave him a little bit of a nudge, I think, in the hairpin, and Hunter-Reay has experienced that in the hairpin just at the last round, so it's one of those things that is scary about these street circuits. This week, college football Saturday kicks off on NBC and the NBC Sports Network. First, Purdue takes on Notre Dame at 3:30 on NBC. Then at 7:30, Army marches into San Diego to battle the Aztecs here on the NBC Sports Network.
And Brian, I know as much fun as we're having here and as exciting as this is, we just want to give a shout out to Bob Jenkins just to update you if you caught yesterday's show. He is back in Indianapolis. His wife Pam has health issues, and I know he wants to be here. I talked to him a few hours ago. He sends his regards. But Bob, our thoughts and prayers are with you and Pam, and you're doing the right thing, staying back, and we'll cover it for you.
You know, and talk about Bob. When I started racing, he was one of the guys. And to be able to help him out this weekend is pretty special for me. Cars lined up behind the safety car because of Simona de Silvestro's incident. Shouldn't take long to get that cleaned up, you wouldn't think, and we'll be back to racing. 40 of 75 laps down.
27 heads for winter, drivers right for the restart. Drivers right when we get to it. Standard restart.
35 laps to go. Briscoe.
Pit lane.
Might as well. Not going to lose that much track position, Marty.
And Briscoe hits pit road. He was not happy with Ruben Barrichello on that last restart. Said he slowed down on the restart to block him. It'll be sticker tires for Briscoe and the red alternate tires. He heads back out.
Pagano with the lead. Big Show with the lead. Kimball behind him. And then Ryan Hunter-Reay. That's the top three from Baltimore. Remember, Ryan Hunter-Reay needs to get to the front. Keep Will Power behind him to stay in this championship hunt. Simon Pagano leads the field back around, looking for another restart, having a great run. You can see still damp areas off to the side from rain we had earlier. Charlie Kimball, just electric on that last restart. And Ryan Hunter-Reay in third. He's thinking championship. He needs to go to the front. The biggest problem, he's down to only 25 seconds left on his push to pass. We're back to green.
And Kimball did not get a great start this time. Ryan Hunter-Reay does, and he, they touched.
Contact.
I think he got hit from behind by Kanaan.
Kanaan, very forceful move up the inside.
Got through it clean, though, I think.
That wiggle by Ryan Hunter-Reay, I think there was contact from behind, but he hung on to it.
Look at James Hinchcliffe has gotten back to the pits, changed the tire. It's all that was wrong with the car. He's now in that mix. He is a lap down, or 2 laps down.
Rubens Barrichello goes up the inside of Hildebrand.
There goes pieces flying off of Hildebrand's car.
Parts everywhere.
Hildebrand has damage. You'd want the parts concession to this after this weekend, that's for sure.
Daria already said that the chicane they should rename to the Delara chicane after those 7 crashes yesterday.
Simon Pagano, who had the crash in qualifying, said, I thought I had a car for the pole, out in front and beginning to pull away. But we've seen that earlier today. Drivers with big leads.
Serbia.
6.5. And
Serbia gets a spot on Hildebrand.
Serbia, 11th spot there. There's riding on board with Hildebrand, and he's got part of his wing missing there on the left.
It's going to be a problem. Not a lot of high-speed corners around here, but turns 11 and 12 back around to the front straightaway. The car's not going to want to turn.
And under braking.
And you see Will Power flashing through there. He's definitely not able to show the kind of pace that he does when he's in front. Tagliani getting a position again. You're going to be a sitting duck without that front wing. And ooh, wow, that's a late move, but it might work for Briscoe.
Briscoe, forceful, trying to get past Junqueira there, gets it done. But that's what you've got to do. Dixon working past Junqueira. Dixon just stopped. Was just in at the back of that full course caution.
As did Briscoe. Although a lap, you're right, a lap ahead.
Hey, you got to think that's just outside the window to make it to the end.
And then race forward after that.
Are they?
That's pretty far outside the window.
It's pretty far out. Yeah, you need a ton of yellow.
Yeah, I was going to say, are they gambling for a ton of yellows? Because that's a lot. Although, you got to think about this. 7 cautions today.
Well, it's certainly possible. They had to do something because they weren't going to pass all those cars.
Well, guys, I'll say this for Scott Dixon's team about that pit stop. They came in, they took on those 4 tires, and Mike Hull right now is saying there's debris all over the racetrack. We need caution because, of course, they want those 6 laps of caution. That's what they need to make it to the end, Jan.
Yep. Well, here's the reason for that debris.
Pow.
That certainly would have been a flat tire. The old car.
Pagenaud. Hunter Ray right behind him. Just under a second back. And Pagenaud's been on the button. He's down to 49 seconds left on his push to pass. So Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to make up ground on the leader, Simon Pagenaud. Let's let Izod take us through the field. Kevin?
Simon Pagenaud is in front after that impressive restart where he started 6th, got all the way up to the front. He was very disappointed with qualifying yesterday. We made contact in the second session, thought he had at least a top 6 car. I asked him before the race today if he had any concerns. He thought for a moment and said, no, the car is really good. I think we can win. Ryan Hunter-Reay is running in second. Michael Andretti just told him to run to a bit of a fuel number. They want to save a little bit in case they need it for their final stint. Townsend?
Yeah, Kevin, Charlie Kimball, I think he's having the best run of his career. He's amazing on the restarts. Interesting, he's still struggling with some pain from his hand from that crash earlier this season, but he said this is much easier than Sonoma because the steering loads aren't as high. Back from Charlie Kimball, Tony Kanaan also having a great run. He benefited from the red flag from Graham Rahal in qualifying, so an up-front start for him, and he's kept it up front. Kevin?
Good run so far for Graham Rahal. He's been good in 2 of his last 3 races. 4th at Edmonton, 5th at Sonoma, and even ran from 21st to 11th at Mid-Ohio. Keep in mind, he's got an extra set of sticker reds for his last stint. Townsend?
Takuma Sato had that problem on the restart, but he's back up to speed now. Again, this team was completely lost at Sonoma. It's unbelievable how they've turned it around here.
Rubens Barrichello is coming off his best finish in IndyCar, 4th at Sonoma. No coincidence. He knew that track better than the others because of a couple of tests. He is blind here with no previous experience, but everybody else only has 1 year up on him with that second event. He felt really confident coming in, thought he had a good chance for a good result. Townsend?
Kevin, Mike Conway having a great run based on how his season's gone so far. This guy really needs to put up a podium result again like he did last year to remind teams of his value as we move into this off-season and silly season with the drivers.
The first thing when I saw drivers on Friday going over the railroad tracks and getting airborne was what happened to Justin Wilson, who's running in the 9th position back at Mid-Ohio last year. And he said he got up in the air a little bit, and it scared him. It reminded him of that a little bit. He's had a good run today. He's still in contention. Marty?
Kevin Willpower trying to hunt him down. He came in thinking clinch the championship. Now he's thinking just survive this race and make it to Fontana. You see the onboard trying to get past Justin Wilson. He thought once again that he might have some wing damage. Look at him look underneath Justin Wilson. Now put Willpower in the 9th position. He's just trying to get out of this race clean if he can at this point. Kevin? Townsend?
Yeah, Servia's back there from Wilson and Power. Don't forget, this guy threw out the first pitch at the Baltimore Orioles game. Orioles Servia have a good run. He was a little bit behind when the weekend started. They've been playing catch-up. Very happy with his car in warm-up. He's pressing on.
Much discussion about Alex Tagliani from Sonoma last week. He's running in the 12th position, about whether he should have been that aggressive with someone running in the championship nearby. He said, you've got to race everybody the same way. I'm not trying to hit anybody, but he goes back to the famous Ayrton Senna quote, when you see a gap, I'm paraphrasing, take it. When you don't, you're no longer a racing driver. Townsend?
Yeah, back from Tagliani, there's J.R. Hildebrand, started last due to the crash in practice. His hands are still in pain from that crash, but he was P4 in the warm-up. He is back on pace. He's having a decent run.
Takuma Sato on pit road. 46 laps in the book of 75.
And he's good to get to the end from there. If there wasn't caution, he'd be okay. They took the early part of the last window, so he may be the first car to stop, make the last stop, as we say.
He talked about having no power on that last restart. Bobby Rahal, it's time to go, babe.
Yep.
You talked about no power, but perhaps you just had the wrong gear like we talked about, because the car seems fine after that.
It's hard to say.
Fuel number 6.1 is the fuel number.
Okay, 6.1. Again, that's 0.61 of a gallon per lap, which is about 3.2 miles per gallon, roughly.
We didn't get back to Briscoe, Dixon, and Franchitti, 13th, 14th, and 15th on the racetrack. Not used to seeing that trio so far back, but I think Dario trying to set, Wally, you said it earlier, a record for pit stops.
I think Marty said that. Tell you what, amazing right now looking at the board is Will Power sitting in 8th spot. I mean, he has dug himself out of the hole, and he's past these guys.
And we still have a long way to go, though, as Graham Rahal in 5th rolls onto pit road. Or out, I should say. Kevin?
Still waiting to find out exactly what the penalty is before, but about 30 seconds ago when the pit here, the 38 pit, found out, it was just a massive explosion of everyone saying what. So I'm still trying to find out exactly what the issue is. Obviously, they disagree.
And Kevin, that was for passing under yellow. He was deemed to have passed some cars on the previous caution and was given a drive-through.
That is huge because Graham trying to make up for the mistake that he made in qualifying and had a great run going up to 5th.
Penalty for? That was for our yellow. We were fighting it the whole time, bud. Let's just get going here and focus, okay?
John Kaminsky telling Graham, let's just focus. And we talked about that kind of stuff earlier. As a race car driver, you have to put that out of your mind and focus on the job at hand. Elio Castroneff in 15th, Rahal right in front of him in 14th. So that's a big move for Graham Rahal from 5th to 14th. We're going to take a quick break from Baltimore, the IZOD IndyCar Series, where Simon Pagenaud having a great run and Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to hold on to his championship hopes. Simon Pagenaud leading from here in Baltimore. Pit. You heard him say, and the leader is on pit road. It's the 3rd race that Pagenaud has led this season. The other two.
Nice and steady. Need to get stopped on the box here. Just a nice clean stop. You with me in 5, 4, 3, 2.
That's Rob Edwards you were hearing on the radio talking to Simon Pagenaud. It's been a flawless race so far as he's worked his way up from 9th to the lead, and Pagenaud has an opportunity to win his first IndyCar race here today, but needs a good outlap.
And he got out in front of Charlie Kimball. You saw Kimball pit during the break, but Pagenaud had built up a good enough lead. It was a good enough pit stop, and now what he needs is a good outlap.
Now the current leader, Ryan Hunter-Reay, pitted on the same lap previously as Simon Pagenaud. So there's we talked about big windows. He doesn't have to pit now, but he could because he'd make it to the end. I think if I'm Ryan Hunter-Reay, I stay out. I wait.
You're clear. You're all clear.
Take a look at the telemetry. Pagenaud on the throttle coming off the corner. Gives you an idea of just what kind of top speed, even on this short straightaway. Well over.
Uh-oh, something wrong with Sato?
He's struggling for some reason.
Definitely off the pace. You wonder if that's related to when he said he didn't have power on those restarts.
Hit pit lane here.
So he's going to get it looked at.
Look at this down into turn 1. Ryan Hunter-Reay behind him. Sato goes straight.
Yeah.
Ryan Hunter-Reay, I mean, don't know if he was just trying to get out of the way. Mike Conway, again, he was running 4th. The officials talking to the crew as Conway heads back out. So Ryan Hunter-Reay has taken over the lead. Now Graham Rahal back in.
Remember your speed there.
The drive-through before was passing under the yellow, but it was interesting, an interesting call for Rahal.
Oh, Kanon's got trouble.
Yeah, I believe he got into the wall, guys. That left rear does not look right.
Let's just watch to see if he had another one to catch that second curb.
Boom.
Wow.
Man, that's a tough break. He was set up to pit, too. This was going to be his in-lap.
And Will Power dodged a bullet there. And Hunter-Reay is going to take the opportunity to pit. So let's watch the pit exit on this one after the stop, Kevin.
Ryan Hunter-Reay has had a pretty positive attitude considering the way things have gone from Sonoma and the issues in qualifying yesterday where he never got a fast lap. His final stop of the day, he said, I need to win to stay in the championship, and he's got an opportunity to do it. And because they went out early in qualifying, he's got a set of snickerettes. Will Power, though, is going to beat him back around. Power back in front, and we'll see where Hunter-Reay.
Yeah, but look at Pagano.
Keep an eye on Pagano, and Pagano's going to get him.
No, that was Briscoe that got by. Pagano is behind, so he did pick up that spot, stayed ahead of Simon Pagano after that round of pit stops. Nicely done.
Pagano on warm tires trying to chase down Ryan Hunter-Reay. Hunter-Reay, cold reds. Pagano, the drive down the straightaway will be to the chicane.
So everything going exactly to plan. Who could plan that, though? Who could plan a day like today? But for Ryan Hunter-Reay, it's exactly what they want. But wow, with hot tires, here comes Pagano.
Right up on the rear wing of Ryan Hunter-Reay. Pagano, a little more time left on his push to pass button as well as time winding down. 53 laps in the book, 75 to run in total. Kanaan has made it back to the pits. That's good. That will not bring out another caution.
That can make the difference here when we get down to it. It's these push to passes. Hunter-Reay, 23 seconds left. Pagano, 42, almost double.
If it were to end right now, which obviously we've still got a long way to go, that's how the points would be. Power 475 to Hunter-Reay 59.
But,
it's a big enough gap.
But there's guys ahead of Hunter-Reay that haven't stopped. Right. So that is going to change. So it's still going well for Hunter-Reay. Of course, Power keeps closing in. He is one of those that has yet to pit for his final stop.
And guys, talk about the job Will Power's done. Wally, I know you've been watching it. He cycled out 19th. He drove to the top 5, and then with everyone pitting, he's now in the lead. Now the directive for Will Power, gain as much time as you can in these final few laps before they come to pit road on these hot red tires, gapping Ryan Hunter-Reay as much as you can, and then we'll see how they cycle out on pit road. This could be the championship in the next few laps, guys.
Yes, and isn't it interesting that now Ryan Hunter-Reay is following his teammate. Ryan Hunter-Reay needs to get by Ryan Briscoe to keep. He knows that Will Power hasn't pitted yet. He can't let Will Power gap him much more. At the moment, I think he's fine on the gap. I think that Power would drop behind Hunter-Reay, but it's not going to help when you're following Briscoe.
Now, and Hunter-Reay has been quicker than Briscoe all day long, but we talked about teammates before, and they can be a big help in your championship hunt. And right now, Ryan Hunter-Reay wants to see that blue number 2 out of the way in front of him, give him a clean shot up towards the front.
That could be tough, too. You guys were talking about Briscoe's got 56 seconds left on his push to pass. So it's going to be difficult to make that happen.
And Briscoe's also saving fuel, Wally, to add to all that. So he's probably running a little bit slower than Ryan Hunter-Reay would like as well.
It's the great thing about the IZOD IndyCar Series. Multiple cards can be played. Your pit stop strategy, your push to pass, tire choice. When do you go to reds? When do you stay on the primaries? Wow, good stuff. It had been a good day for Takuma Sato, but his day seems to have, his good luck, I should say, seems to have gone away.
Yeah, Brian, started 24th. He led 12 laps. You were flying out there. What happened?
It was good in the dump condition, but in the end we had, looks like a fuel pressure problem. Engine started coughing when I was led the race. Restart, just no power. And in the end, I just couldn't select the gears. It's a really shame. I mean, boys working really hard to change the engine twice, actually, over the course of the weekend. And everyone tried to solve the problem. Just a big shame.
Well, have to go on to the last race at Fontana. Takuma Sato out for today.
Yeah, disappointing. But look at this. Tagliani at the front of this group. He is running a little bit slower, and now they've got a train going.
Yeah, Pagano has made up a lot of ground on these guys because of that.
But what you have to do, they have to project the future, and that is because they're getting held up, Ryan Hunter-Reay, Briscoe, Power is pulling away at the front, and that's not what Ryan Hunter-Reay wants. He's got to move forward.
Yanni's doing the best he can to pull away, and on the radio, Tim Cindric has told him, use the push to pass. Keep pushing as hard as you can. The gap they're looking for is about 20 seconds. That's the range they can hit pit road and then beat Ryan Hunter-Reay out. So if they're 20 seconds ahead of Ryan Hunter-Reay, you can look for that across the top of the screen occasionally. That's the number they're looking for when they hit pit road.
Yeah, so that number right now is 13.8. So he has 13.8. I agree. He wants 20. He might want 22, 23 seconds to be safe, but around 20 seconds, 13.7 now. So Ryan Hunter-Reay's managing to hang in there.
Will Power had not.
Oh, here he comes.
Power's in.
Okay. So he comes into the pits with not going to be enough.
Ryan Hunter-Reay just now at pit in, and Will Power has not even stopped yet.
He should blow by.
And guys, to be honest, the team was not ready for this. They had to bring the tires over when they saw Will hit pit road and be scuffed red tires for Will Power. We'll see where he cycles out. Ryan Hunter-Reay goes by. Will Power leaves to head back out on the racetrack.
83 at turn 1, Kimball, turn 1.
Will Power on scrubs, you heard him say. That's going to help a little bit. The tires will come in a little bit sooner, and they should last a little bit longer, but they just couldn't get the gap that they wanted to stay in front of Ryan Hunter-Reay.
So look who's leading now. Oriol Serbia.
Kimball is right.
That's why they call him. Oh, and it just switched.
Tagliani.
Now it's switched to Tagliani.
On board with Serbia through the chicane. Down the front straightaway. Things, they are a-changing. We talked just moments ago about it would have been a 59-point gap if things ended right there. And you guys said it. You had to make another pit stop. You just saw on the graphic 28 points.
Yeah, and my apologies there. For some reason, he was on the top of the timing monitor there briefly, and then they recycled it. So Serbia actually, at the moment, running 12th.
Alex Tagliani holds down the lead right now, but we expect pit stops from him as well. Ryan Hunter-Reay doing all that he can, running third right now. Tagliani is in. We expected that. Briscoe moves to the lead. And Will Power in seventh.
Foot on the brake, steering wheel straight.
We'll be back to more from Baltimore. Plenty of excitement still yet to come. We've got 18 laps to go and a championship on the line. The IZOD INDYCAR Series. Grand Prix of Baltimore on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by Novolog FlexPen. Ask your healthcare provider about the benefits of FlexPen today. And by Honda, an official vehicle of the IZOD INDYCAR Series. Will Power on a march to the front, but he needs to chase down Ryan Hunter-Reay. Power now in sixth here from the streets of Baltimore. Next car in line. It's like the number 10 of Dario Franchitti.
Might be a little tougher.
Yeah, take a look at the Firestone telemetry. It gives you an idea of what these drivers are dealing with on the city streets here. I don't think citizens of Baltimore are probably driving like that.
Power just gets in so hard when he brakes. I mean, just watch when he gets under braking. So good.
Use the overtake if you need to.
You have about 10 more laps, meaning you could use it 10 more times. Obviously, there's 15 to go.
He's on black tires.
And that's good to know, too. When we talk about the black tires versus the reds, there's a considerable difference in grip.
Yeah.
We've talked about we are not certain if Ryan Briscoe can make it the rest of the way, but Ryan Hunter-Reay has not been told that at this point. Michael Andretti is telling him that's who you're racing with at this point. And the reason Michael's not going to tell him, because if we get another yellow, then Briscoe will be good on fuel. So he wants him to keep going after him at this point. Marty?
Kevin, I did ask Roger Penske, are you 3 laps short on fuel? His teammate Helio Castroneves is 3 laps short on fuel. They pitted at the same time. Roger told me no. I said, are you 2 laps short? He goes, I don't know. I just know we're not 3 laps short. So a little bit of poker playing going on down here. Roger Penske's not going to tell me the truth, guys. But
could be 4, could be 2, but it's not
whatever,
3.
But you heard Roger Penske on the radio right there. A little bit more on fuel for us, please.
Yeah.
If you're going to play poker with the captain, you better be ready. Briscoe leads nonetheless. Hunter-Reay right behind him.
very interesting strategy for Michael Andretti. That was a great report, and then instead of telling Ryan Hunter-Reay, hey, Ryan Briscoe's in fuel trouble, he's not telling him that, again, because if there was a long caution, that would save Briscoe. Oh, here comes Power, gets that position, or does he? Yes, from Franchitti.
Takes it from Franchitti. You would expect that. Power's been a little bit quicker. He is on the red tires, Franchitti. On the primary. Oh, and he goes wide. That's kind of a rare mistake.
Power's just driving for everything he's got right now. He knows he's got to get by as many cars as possible to shorten that gap up on points. Here we go. We talked about out-braking guys. Power's just been doing it all day long.
Look at Dario trying to come back on him.
Up the 5th spot. And like Marty said earlier, he was way back at 19th at one point.
Will Power just magic here at Baltimore. Last year, he dominated this event. He's trying to do it again today. Townsend?
Yeah, thanks, Brian. Down here with the Tiger. Tony, I had high hopes for you today. You started up front for the first time in a long time. You were running great. You were about to pit. You went through the Dukes of Hazzard, Baja chicane there. What happened?
I feel bad for the Geico Mauser guys because it was totally my mistake. But as you know, the lap before you pit, that's when you push really hard to gain a little bit of a lap time. And it was totally my mistake. I mean, my engineer told me that doesn't happen very often, so I'm allowed to do once in a while. I was giving it all out there, and totally my mistake.
Now tied for the Oval Championship, right? We go to Fontana. Does that mean a lot to you to try to win that? At least get that trophy, huh?
You gotta look ahead, and that's something that I gotta look for. And this is done. Got to turn the page, but definitely that Oval Championship will be a good thing to do. And the last 2 championships that I fought there, the Indy Lights and the IndyCar, I won. So let's see, maybe we'll do that.
All right, doing my best to cheer him up, guys. Tony Kanaan.
Hey, is Dixon okay on fuel?
He is not.
I can answer that, Wally. He is 1 lap short. Mike Hull just told him we are 1 lap short. Do all you can do to save me a little bit here, but they are 1 lap short as well.
Yeah. I always love that. Crew chief tells you to go faster, but save fuel. Right now, Ryan Briscoe, we think he's a couple of laps short, but we're not. We still have 13 to go from here in Baltimore. More IZOD IndyCar action coming your way right after this. IZOD INDYCAR Series in the streets of Baltimore, and we have seen a great one here today and still have 11 laps to go. The weather has been in and out, but right now it's Ryan Briscoe out in front. Let's check back down in the pits with Townsend Bell.
Yeah, thanks, Brian. I'm here with Liz Power, and her fingers are crossed. She's twisted up. Her whole body's crossed up. And it's not because of Oriole Serbia. I don't think your husband, Will Power, going for his first championship. What are you feeling right now?
I'm a wreck. I'm a little nervous. Kind of shaking, but he's good. He'll do good.
What do you think Will's thinking in the car?
I think he's just thinking he's racing. I know Will. He's ticking him off.
She's looking at me like, quit talking to me. I can't even talk right now. Wishing her the best of luck.
And she is Oriole Serbia's PR person.
I say that to Townsend all the time, too.
Ryan Hunter-Reay giving chase. He knows Briscoe is going to need to pit. And he doesn't seem to have been close enough to him to make a pass. Here's a look at pit strategy.
Kimball off. This is going to make things interesting. If they throw a full course yellow here.
And that could be right what Briscoe needs. And Scott Dixon. Briscoe needs a lot of help. Scott Dixon needs a little less help. And it is a full course caution. This is going to change it again.
I think there's oil down, guys, because the car that I just saw come through that corner was sliding all over the place. So
you see some oil down. Yeah, and you see the smoke from the back of the 83. So I think you're right. Some kind of a problem with the engine.
So the people in fuel trouble were Briscoe, Dixon, Franchitti, Castroneves.
Trying to determine if that is oil down that we see or just marks from before out there wide. But anyway, you look at it, the full course caution is going to have an effect. If there is oil down, that's going to have an effect because the caution will be even longer to clean up. If it's just a matter of pulling Kimball out of the way, it won't take that long.
The thing is, Briscoe has no overtake left, no overtake,
Yeah,
so you have a little bit, so hopefully we can get him.
He's looking at our monitor. He hasn't had it all day, so I don't think that's right.
Well, there's been a problem with Briscoe's overtake. They couldn't monitor it, so we've not known, and we don't know how much he's used.
No, you don't need to. You don't need to.
He takes the left hand. It goes to the fuel knob.
Burn the fuel.
Does Ryan Hunter-Reay. But wow, is this ever potentially falling in Ryan Briscoe's lap?
Well, the other thing it does is on the restart, Power only has 2 cars between himself and Ryan Hunter-Reay.
I'll guarantee you Hunter-Reay is going to go in there pretty deep on this
You
restart.
think?
Yeah.
All or nothing?
Yeah.
All
you
in.
have to. I mean, 29 points back down from Will Power. You know Power's going to be all over Dixon and Pagano. I mean, like he said earlier, he's got to make something happen today, Hunter-Reay.
Yes.
And you really don't have any teammates between the two of you, so there are no friends there to work with. Power's going to have a shot at it. Things are heating up big time from Baltimore. The championship, it could come down to the final laps from right here on the streets of Baltimore. Safety car on track here in Baltimore, the 8th full course caution of the day, and Ryan Briscoe out in front in this caution may have saved him.
Just, you know, be concerned of Pagano coming up the inside of Briscoe, because I think that's what he's going to try to do.
Plenty of radio traffic talking about Simon Pagano on the restart. For Ryan Hunter-Reay, he needs to win this race. He's had some opportunities lost the last couple of races.
In Sonoma, watch, he gets speared from behind first at the beginning, and then look at this. This is Tagliani coming in. That is, he tried to go to the inside of Franchitti, made that contact. He kept it running, but then stalled it. Afterwards, he had a spirited conversation with Tagliani saying, you can't race a guy in the championship the same way. Then here, he backs off in qualifying, looking for a gap. At the very same time that Graham Rahal pounds the wall at the edge of the chicane. They go red. He isn't able to get a fast qualifying lap. He can't believe it. Now he finds himself, amazingly, it's turned around, and he has a shot to go for the lead.
Another thing you want to be concerned about is with Hunter-Reay, you don't want to be behind a guy that's close on fuel these last 4 or 5 laps. Because when somebody runs out of fuel in front of you, things happen in a hurry. So I think Hunter-Reay has got to try to get behind Briscoe on this restart and just get out of town.
And guys, we've been watching Ryan Briscoe's monitor for his push to pass all day long. It's been registering 0 for a good reason. It hasn't worked all day long for Ryan Briscoe, so that may actually help the fuel mileage a little bit. It's certainly going to hurt the restart here for Brian Briscoe. You see Roger Penske there on your screen. He's pulling some hair out because they are still a couple of laps short on fuel, but this caution certainly helps them, but they will have no push to pass again if we do go back on a restart.
Well, Ryan Hunter-Reay has 19 seconds left. The bad news is for Ryan Hunter-Reay, Will Power still 46 seconds of push to pass left. This could be it right here. This could have huge championship implications. Ryan Briscoe bringing the field down. Ryan Hunter-Reay needs to time this restart perfectly.
Oh, he did. He did.
He just dusts him. He leaves him in the dust.
That's what he had to do. I don't think Briscoe was ready for that green flag to be thrown.
Now his biggest concern.
Oh, no. He can't stop. He can't stop. He's not going to make it.
Yes, he did.
Oh, how did he make it?
That's a great save. Pagano is all over him, though. And Pagano has got twice as much push to passes than Hunter-Reay.
And Ryan Hunter-Reay, I can't even talk. Ryan Hunter-Reay blocking a little bit in there and contact, blocking a little bit into the hairpin for no reason, actually lost momentum on the way out.
Barrichello versus
somebody just got in the tires.
Conway got in the tires. We're going to have a caution again.
Full course caution, I would think, is going to come out. Barrichello in the tires.
Oh, my. Justin Wilson got into the back of the stopped Conway.
Now, they will click 70 laps complete when they go across the line this time of 75 to run.
Well, they're going to have to hurry up because all these guys are going to have to stop because this track is plugged up right here.
All right, how does this even begin? I think it starts with Barrichello and Conway.
I think Conway.
Oh,
yeah,
actually, Conway did it on his own.
And then it just got blocked.
Oh, and Justin Wilson got pushed in.
By Rahal, Andretti involved, Hinchcliffe going, I can't go anywhere. And at that point in time, you're right, it's blocked.
Guys, I don't know what's going to happen here because there's no way to get through the track there.
That's what I'm saying. They're going to have to be sitting there idling.
Yeah,
if they don't.
You can't.
Oh, they've been quick. Wow, they're good with those quick lifts. They've got at least a gap now.
Well, and if you're Marco Andretti.
Slow down, Ryan. Slow down. By the time you.
Oh, look, it's Conway Street. Is that?
Oh, wow. Ouch.
Your Marco Andretti, you want to get out of the way in time so that they can sneak through there because every lap they run is good for your teammate Ryan Hunter-Reay.
I still can't believe that Ryan Hunter-Reay made it through turn one. I thought he was going straight in the tires.
He said he was going to leave it all out on the table today, and he has shown us that he has.
That was awesome.
The car up on top of the other on the outside of the.
And you look at Hunter-Reay and what he's done today, and then you look 4 cars back, and there's Power sitting there.
Still.
Will Power in 5th. Ryan Hunter-Reay doing everything he can to stay in that championship hunt. This is where you earn your money.
He timed it perfect. He was rolling faster when the green flag dropped. He had timed that thing just perfect. Goes in way, way deep. Smokes the tires up. But this is where he earned his money. He went way wide, and he stayed in front of Pagenaud.
Just missed the tires.
Well, I think Pagenaud actually backed off just a little bit, thinking he's going to hit the wall. Ryan napping a little bit on that restart. Here we go. I do think Pagenaud slows up a little bit at the apex, trying to avoid the ricochet that never happened.
Probably. Is the Pagenaud's board restart? Yeah, Briscoe just, wow.
Wow, but there is a bit of a delay on the radios, and by that,
I think Pagenaud right here thought Hunter-Reay was done.
Yeah.
And I think you're right. He backed off a little bit, and I think he thought he was going to go on the wall, and he's probably going, how did he save that?
Just like we did.
They're still working to get Mike Conway's car off Justin Wilson's car. This is going to be a long cleanup, Kevin.
Well, Michael, that was the restart of the year, but he's got to do one more. What are you expecting here?
I don't know. Hopefully he's going to get another good one. That's what we need. One more.
Strategy's been key today. That's worked out. It's been really confusing, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been pretty crazy here, I can tell you. We've been, talking it over. Sorry, he was talking to me on radio. Yeah, it's been crazy here, but I think we've done the right thing.
All right, we'll let you get back to work. Thank you. Michael Andretti. Marty?
Well, Roger Penske and Ryan Briscoe not too happy with that restart. Do you feel that should be reviewed, Roger?
Well, I think we're supposed to go when the leader goes, and they didn't even start when the leader was still in, I think, second gear. So they need to review it. And I guess it's obvious, so the officials have to make the decision. Obviously, I can't do it here, but I think they're wrong.
Have you asked an official to do that?
Yes, we've texted them twice. They say they're reviewing it.
All right, and how about the push to pass? Is that what caught him off guard there?
What'd you say?
Not having the push to pass, did that hurt him on that restart?
Not at all. We weren't ready to go. Don't go until you get the checker flag.
All right, there you go. Green flag, I got you. And so they have filed a request with race control to review that situation. They feel like Ryan Hunter-Reay, we're watching it right now, clearly jumped the restart. And in fact, several teams down here think Ryan Hunter-Reay jumped that restart, guys.
I'll tell you what, I saw that green flag flying when Hunter-Reay got on the gas. And when you're a driver, that's what you're looking for.
The way the rules read on restarts is that you go with the flag. It's not like the start where you have to key off the leader. They have reviewed it. We heard from race control that they are comfortable that he did not get on it until the waving of the green flag. They say that was a clean start. Watch for the green. Right there.
Goes,
oh, yeah. That's legal.
That's all.
He just timed it perfectly.
Yeah. Yep.
If the flag had been 2 seconds later, I
that
think
was a legal start.
Still working to clean this up and to get Conway's number 14 off of the back of Justin Wilson's car.
Same drill. You've got just about the same profile to move through. Everybody tight drivers left on the exit.
All right, as we look towards the last race of the season, let's play that. If it ends right now, look at the gap to Will Power and Ryan Hunter-Reay. 19 points.
Not what Power wants to see, but that's what we want to see going into Fontana.
What Power wants to see is a little super glue on the back of that 14 to stick it to Justin Wilson's car and make it too difficult to get off of there. Let's check back into the pits with Townsend.
All right, thanks, Brian. Down here with Sam. Man, you guys have been flying today. You know, tough situation in qualifying, but you've come fighting back. Simon's been super fast. You think this could be the day?
And I hope so. You know, I mean, he's been resilient all weekend and very confident. You can definitely tell around pit lane that he's got the mojo, and you know, Ryan Hunter's got more to lose than we have to win. So he's definitely going to go for it and use all of his experience. We'll see what he can do.
Now, I know earlier in the season you guys were struggling to get, you know, front-end grip on this car, get a handle on things, and I know the last few races he's just been on fire. I mean, he's just been fast everywhere. What happened? What changed here?
Yeah, it's really just a team effort. I mean, I think between things starting to really click and understand this car, the engineers he gets along with real well, and everybody starts, you know, getting that momentum going, all the crew guys. I mean, HP, Bowers, and Wilkins, everybody's just really looking forward to next year because we think we can go after the championship.
Let's see what happens on this restart, guys.
I agree with that. I think Pagano is going to be a force to reckon with next season.
I think without a doubt he will. Now, Ryan Hunter-Reay trying to hold on to the lead. If he were to win here and the final round at Fontana, all Will Power still has to do is finish fourth at Fontana, and he'd win the championship by all he has.
That's a big if.
No, but the other
500-mile race.
The other stat, well, that's what I'm saying. If Hunter-Reay wins here and at Fontana, and Will finishes fourth at Fontana, he would still win the championship. But the other thing that I think is interesting, Will Power has not had a mechanical DNF all year long. And you got to figure there's got to be one of those somewhere. Marty?
Well, guys, and I think Will Power sitting back there in fifth thinking, man, what could have been this weekend? Clearly, they've had the fastest car the entire weekend. And there was a little bit of pressure on him to clinch this weekend because of what you see on the bottom of your screen. The average finish at Ovals, 13.19. He did not want to have to go to Fontana needing to finish ahead of Ryan Hunter-Reay to win this championship. And looks like that's going to be the situation, or at least he'll have to finish a couple of spots ahead of him anyway, or can't finish too far behind him, I should say. So I think it's a little bit tighter than Will Power would have liked leaving Baltimore. And I think he kind of in the back of his mind thought we need to clinch this weekend.
Yeah, Marty, you and I were talking about this earlier. This oval thing kind of haunts Will a little bit. He did not, like you said, this really bothers him. I know he's saying take it race to race, but he's going to have a lot of sleepless nights, I think, before Fontana. I think he really wanted this over today. You're right.
Total cautions in the last 4 races, 5. Total cautions today, 9. And the last one may be the most important one of the day. 2 laps to go when they get the green this time. Lights out on the safety car. And Ryan Hunter-Reay knows he's going to be under attack.
But Hunter-Reay's going to get a good start, but he can't do what he did the last time. He got away with it once. I'm not sure he's going to get away with it twice if he goes in there too deep and blows that corner.
Scott Dixon, Will Power in 4th and 5th still have plenty of time on their push to pass.
Now, Justin Wilson just left the pits.
Yeah, he needs to go out in front of him or get out of the way.
They need to get out. They need to get him out of there. He just came out of the pits, and they're just getting ready to get formed up for a restart.
Get out of there, 18.
Yeah, they want him in the back. There you go.
Good move.
They heard him say, get out of there, 18.
Now.
To the back. Yeah, now.
Good call by IndyCar.
That takes a little bit of your concentration away when there's somebody right there beside you.
Ryan
Hunter-Reay needs to focus. Flagman on the left. Look for green. There it is. Here we go. This could be the championship right here. Ryan Hunter-Reay leads.
Briscoe down on the bottom. Ooh, gets squeezed down. Briscoe still may stick it in there.
He does.
And that's what Hunter-Reay wants to see right now, is he wants these 2 guys racing behind him. That was perfect for Hunter-Reay.
That is exactly what he wants to see.
Good move on Ryan Briscoe right there.
Will Power 5th in line, and look at this.
Oh, he might lose a spot. He does.
He loses
2. It might be 3 spots. Will Power, it's drifting away on the last couple laps.
Alex Tagliani on the outside, and now Power needs to try to hold on, but he's got to be careful. Tagliani could attack.
Went from 29-point lead to 15-point lead in 1 corner for Will Power.
Wow. It is still not over. There will be 1 lap to go when Ryan Hunter-Reay gets back to the line. Ryan Briscoe, with that lengthy full course caution, should have fuel.
So here comes Barrichello to the inside, and then he pushes, has a little bit of a nudge, and then Oriol Servia in the Wix filter colors goes by him, and then on the outside it was Tagliani. Wow, what a change of events.
Ryan Hunter-Reay leads through turns 11 and 12. Power giving chase. Briscoe right behind. Should be light on fuel. Only a 15-point difference if it were to finish this way. I think the only saving grace for Hunter-Reay, Ryan Briscoe has no push to pass.
Hunter-Reay is going to be impossible to pass this last lap, let me tell you. I don't care how many push passes Ryan Briscoe has.
Take onboard missiles to get him out of the way at this point in time. This is the lap that has to be perfect for Hunter-Reay. A little wide off of the hairpin. Briscoe's still there. Will Power has gotten back around Oriol Servia.
So that's 17 now.
Hunter-Reay about 1 mile to go. Power now trying to set his sights on Barrichello, who so forcefully moved him out of the way in the hairpin. Championship looks to still be alive. Ryan Hunter-Reay qualifying did not work his way. Didn't start this race where he wanted to. Through turn 9. If he can hold on, it would be his 9th career win. 4th win of the season. 1 corner to go. Ryan Hunter-Reay makes the most of this day, keeps the championship alive. It will come down to the final race of the season. Ryan Hunter-Reay wins in Baltimore.
That was big. That's big for these guys. Obviously.
And the crew obviously knows how incredible.
You just said it, drive of the year. He did everything he needed to do, and you finally got a couple of breaks.
Everything was perfect. Great strategy with everybody here. Good pit stops. So happy for everybody with DHL and Sun Drop. Just awesome. We're going to win this thing.
From 37 back, now it's 17 heading to Fontana. Very doable, right?
Absolutely.
Michael Andretti headed to victory lane, still with a chance at a championship.
And Michael looking forward to Fontana, not looking back to Sonoma, where it seemed like their hopes were dashed. But Ryan Hunter-Reay, there is no give up in that driver. And he said so at the beginning of the show. He said, I need to focus on this race, forget about Sonoma. And that's exactly what he did.
Yeah, he went after it. And he said he was going to, and he had to. And those guys really, they made some gambles today. They came out looking like heroes, and they put themselves right back into this championship race.
Oh, my God. Thanks, guys. Man, that one feels good. Ryan, that was unbelievable. Awesome drive. That was great.
How close was Ryan Briscoe on fuel?
Very.
I mean, got a great finish out of it, though, guys. I mean, second place, that's pretty strong.
And if they hadn't cleaned up,
They're going to bring you to pit lane.
if they hadn't cleaned up the mess
Awesome.
down in turn 4, Briscoe wouldn't have made it to the finish. The captain does not look happy. But I can tell you the emotion on Ryan Hunter-Reay when he climbs out of his number 28 will be spectacular. Will Power already out. He's going to have to take his points in his championship battle to Fontana.
And it's kind of really nice that Andretti's bailed this race out, and they got repaid back for it.
There you go. Very good point. Will Power out of the 12. He's actually, I heard him say, why did we go wet?
The problem is that when you come back in, Tim called you. I didn't hear.
They're going to beat themselves up a lot over this one today.
You can what if every race you ever ran.
He never went. Or Hunter-Reay went. I don't know where the restart zone is, but he never waited for Briscoe to go. Hunter-Reay just went.
But that was your point. You don't have to wait for Briscoe to go.
That's Dave Faustino, his race engineer. Marty?
All right, we let him have a little conversation with Dave, his race engineer, and talking with Tim Cindric. Did you want to know why you went to the wets, Will?
No. Hunter-Reay just jumped that restart, and Briscoe just went and didn't get a penalty. But anyway, that's life. Yeah, it was a tough day. I mean, it's a tough call. what to do, you know, when it's like conditions like that. I knew it would be that. I knew it.
You and I talked about that earlier, right?
I knew it would be a day like this. It never comes easy, ever.
Here's that restart.
See, he just took off. Briscoe hadn't even gone. Bo didn't do anything about it. It was strange. I thought, why did they just take off like that?
They were saying when the green flag came out, it was okay for Ryan to go, no matter what the leader did. Do you agree with that?
You have to be past that second cone, which he wasn't. Ryan has a chance to go in between those two cones, and Hunter Ray just went. I would have done the same thing. It's for the championship, right?
Right, exactly. After that, you had a little contact on that last restart as well.
Yeah, Barrichello just pushed me out into the wall. That's hard racing in the pack.
You go to California, 17 points in the lead. What are your thoughts racing for the championship there at an oval where it hasn't been your best?
You just got to do our best. Got to get everything right. I'm used to it every year. We just have to fight like a dog to the end. So that's normal. And we'll come out swinging.
All right, Will Power promises to come out swinging at Fontana. Brian?
I just think in Bo's defense on that one, Bo, that was the right call. Well, the wrong call. Those guys started that race the correct way. Briscoe was sleeping, and that's, I think, all there is to it.
I must have been on the radio.
Ryan Hunter-Ray certainly will be celebrating. I know Will Power is unhappy, but there's no one happier in pit lane than Ryan Hunter-Ray.
Well, Ryan Hunter-Ray has stormed his way back into the championship. There's a kiss from his wife, Becky. Michael Andretti was in here. I think last week at Sonoma, a lot of your teammates and crew guys said that was the drive of your life, but no result. Today you matched it, and you got some luck finally.
Man, I think that's probably the toughest race I've ever drove. I got nothing left in me. I have hardly enough to talk. I was pushing so hard. Flat spot on my tires on the last restart, trying to keep Pagano and the other guys behind me. The only thing I was doing today was winning, or else I was ending up in the wall, and we did it. I owe this team, DHL, Sundrops, Chevrolet. What if this season would have gone our way and we just would have had some luck at some points when it went down? But this is what racing's about. We're still in it. We're going to have a heck of a championship final at Fontana. So, you know, this is for the fans. The best fan base in the world is IndyCar fans. Thank you very much.
Watch this restart. This is the next to the last restart. Roger Penske thought you went too early. We saw the green flag, though. Looks like he timed it.
Yeah, I had been watching the green flag on all restarts because everybody had been going late, and the green flag actually came out before guys were accelerating. So I knew it was, as Bo says, it's green is racing. And when the green flag flew, I went. And, yeah, sorry to Briscoe. You got the dirty end of that thing, but you got to go when the green flag goes.
All right, it was the toughest race of your life. Was it the most important drive of your life? Do you still have a chance to win this championship?
Yeah, we still have a shot. That's the thing. We're gonna go to Fontana, put a good car together, and you know, we all want it bad enough. We can go get this thing. I think this team certainly deserves it. It's a matter of if we can put it together.
All right, that's Ryan Hunter-Ray. He goes to Fontana within 17 of Will Power, trying to win his first IndyCar championship.
Yeah, and I just want to follow up on something. Yeah, I did say Briscoe may have been sleeping on that restart, but also if he was out of push to passes, that could have really hurt him too on this restart. But I think all is fair and game right here watching this.
And you can see the cones on the left-hand side, the acceleration cones. He was within that region that you can gas it. So we've had double confirmation. One, you can see the green flag when he steps on it, especially on the onboard, and you could see the cones on the right-hand side that he didn't gas it until he got to that cone. That was clean, and unfortunately he took advantage of Briscoe. It was just a perfectly timed start.
And that's the last we're going to talk about it.
What did Will Power say?
What's that?
What did Will Power say? He said, I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Wow, it's been an awesome one. There's more to follow up on from Baltimore. The IZOD IndyCar Series on NBC Sports. More to come. Stay with us right after this. Grand Prix of Baltimore on the NBC Sports Network is brought to you by SRT. By IZOD. Go to IZOD.com to see the latest in IZOD color and performance. By Verizon, official wireless partner of the IZOD IndyCar Series. Welcome to IndyCar Central on NBC Sports Network, presented by Verizon. Well, I know Will Power was a little disappointed with the results, but for Ryan Hunter-Reay, he certainly was not. And for Simon Pagenaud, a great run as well.
Yeah, Brian, Simon down here, I mean, you look at this guy's hands. It looks like you just rode across the Atlantic or something. A whole lot of effort in the car today. You moved to 5th in points with another podium finish. You were strong all day. Did you think you were going to have it there at the end on the restarts?
Well, man, on the second stint when we were leading, I'm like, the car was so good, I didn't think anyone could get us. Those guys made the HP car so quick, it was unbelievable. But then, unfortunately, at that stop, we had a little issue, and we lost the lead.
Simon, watch this. We think this is the restart of the year, perhaps. This is you. Talk us through this.
Yeah, I timed it perfectly with push to pass, and my gears were just perfect for these conditions. And man, it was great when I was P1 in turn 1.
Nicely played, nicely played. Well, guys, another podium finish for Simon Pagenaud. Marty, on to you.
Well, on top of a great race and running out of fuel at the end, he had to jog back from turn 4. Ryan Briscoe is back here. Your take on the last restart, or the one before the last restart when Ryan Hunter-Reay appeared to jump, in your opinion?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a zone. There are 2 cones. There's a first one. You can accelerate anywhere between there. And the second one, I saw he was hanging back, so I didn't accelerate, and we were still within the 2 cones. The next thing, he's flying by, the green flag's waving, and I haven't accelerated yet, and I'm the pole sitter. So it was wrong. In my mind, I think we got screwed. I went from 1st back to 4th and passed Dixon back to 3rd and then Pagenaud for 2nd. So it's frustrating, but great day for us anyway, coming from 11th back up there for a podium, but I think we deserve the win today.
Is this a conversation that you will continue with Bo, perhaps, with Bo Barfield after this race?
Yeah, I mean, I'll bring it up, we'll review it and see what their explanation was. I mean, maybe the flaggy thought that Hunter-Reay was the pole sitter, I'm not sure, but I never accelerated and I've got 3 cars going by me and we're still within the zone, so it's not right, in my opinion, and I'm surprised there was no penalty issued.
The lack of push to pass on your behalf hurt you at all, you think?
Yeah, definitely. A couple of times I got done down the straight, but thankfully the conditions today played into our hands, and push to pass all that long wasn't that important. It was more about keeping it off the wall and getting the strategy right, and pulled a good one on us today. We ran out of fuel across the finish line, so it was a good one.
All in all, very nice run for Ryan Briscoe. It's a win and a 2nd back-to-back weeks. How about that?
Will Power talking with his wife Liz on the wall, and they'll be talking about this one for a long time, especially the restart. And look at Ryan Hunter-Reay having a conversation with Ryan Briscoe. I don't think they're ever going to see eye to eye on this one.
Well, I think when Briscoe goes back, if he wants to review it with Bo, I think he'll probably see it the way it was called.
Ryan Briscoe celebrating. Talk about emotion. You don't think motorsports is emotional? Look at the crew for Ryan Briscoe. I said Ryan Briscoe was the happiest person out here. I'm not sure that's the case. We'll be back with more from Baltimore right after this. The championship still very much alive. Welcome back to IndyCar Central, presented by Verizon. Ryan Hunter-Reay, Ryan Briscoe walking through the crowd over to the media center. Where else do you see this in motorsport? How pumped up is Ryan Hunter-Reay right now? Well, plenty of excitement from the streets here in Baltimore today. For more from the pits, let's head back down to Kevin.
This guy's earned a seat. I'm just going to sit down with him. Rubens Barrichello, 4th at Sonoma last week, 5th here today. You're getting the hang of this, right? Just took a little time.
It was a bit rough out there today because we were obviously to overtake here. You touch people touch you. But I had a good run. I'm pretty happy. I mean, the car with the slicks on the wet, we took a good gamble there, but it was good.
I'm wondering what it was like in the cockpit. You were just telling your guys, hey, make sure you recorded that. I want to see this race. It was tough to keep up with.
It was. And, at the end, I wanted to earn my place there. I was racing hard, but I didn't want it to get in the way of everyone and anyone. And I touched with Dario a little bit because I ran out of luck and with Will, as you can see. well, you don't see from there, but I just took an avoiding action not to hit him from behind. And pretty lucky that he made the corner, because all I didn't want there is to take the championship leader out. I might have my chance. I hope I have my chance to fight for the championship, and I didn't want it to get into the carnage. So I'm sorry if that was it. But I took if you take from another angle, you see I took an avoiding action not to hit him from behind, and then I ran out of luck. So, but it was a good race. I enjoy.
Good run. We're happy that you're enjoying IndyCar, and you tell us you're going to be back next year. That's the 40-year-old rookie in IndyCar, Rubens Barrichello.
There's a look at the victory circle. Be coming up next here in Baltimore, and we'll bring you some final thoughts from Baltimore when we come back on the other side of this break. And these boys are going to celebrate with some champagne. We'll be right back. He was almost too tired to talk. I think he'll be plenty well enough to celebrate. He takes a very hard-earned victory, but when you look back through the order here, guys, there was great racing everywhere.
There was great racing from the front to the back. And before we head off, Brian, thank you for joining us on very, very short notice. We appreciate
like I said earlier, it was an honor.
If there was a race that you were going to make, Brian, I think this was a good one.
This was definitely the one.
We should also say that this is Townsend Bell's last race of the year with us. He's off doing some more racing behind the wheel, so thank you, Townsend, as well.
Looking there on the last page of results, Takuma Sato, you got to feel bad for him. What a great race he had early on.
I mean, Sato, Kanan, Kimball, Wilson, there's a lot of guys. Bourdais had really, really good races today. I mean, this was what IndyCar racing's all about today. If you didn't get fired up about a race like this, nothing's going to fire you up. This was a fun race to call.
Ryan Hunter-Reay signing autographs there in the crowd. And this is what's important. The championship, just 17 points separate Ryan Hunter-Reay from Will Power. It'll all come down to the final round at Fontana. I mean, think about the battle that we saw in the difficult conditions, the rain, the dry, all with a championship on the line.
And Fontana, that point thing is going to change almost lap to lap. It's going to be pretty interesting to see. There's going to be a lot of guys stressed out going into Fontana.
Well, I think the other thing you saw is guys fighting for contracts next year as well, and we saw certainly a good one. Make sure you stay tuned. Formula D is next. And don't forget that the Series Championship is on the NBC Sports Network. So join us Saturday, September 15th, 7:30 Eastern for the MAV TV 500 presented by Lucas Oil. For more information on the IZOD IndyCar Series, log on to NBCSports.com. For Jan Beekes, Wally Dallenbach, Townsend Bell, Kevin Lee, Marty Snyder, and Robin Miller, I'm Brian Till. Thanks for joining us, and congratulations to Ryan Hunter-Reay.
The NBC Sports Network thanks you for watching this presentation of the IZOD IndyCar Series.